It's time for Worlds. Time for Worlds, baby. It's time for Worlds. I'm starting to feel a bit better after I drink tea. Who filmed the music video? One of my friends came over with their camera. It was super scuffed. He came over. We didn't even know what we were filming. We had to make up. Okay, kind of clean with it.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else.
Yeah, we didn't even know we were filming.
World
We just got some lights and just went
live
crazy.
From Seoul, South Korea. Today officially kicks off the 13th edition of the most prestigious League of Legends event of the year.
Alright, I'm muting yours. You're annoying. I know it's muted.
It's Worlds, baby!
It's Worlds, baby!
Let's go, Raz. You excited to get into it?
Yes, exactly. I mean, today is the start of Worlds.
Wait, is
so
today
anything that happened
Bong's
before
day?
That does not exist. Doesn't matter.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And how many seats do NA has this, and how many does EU have?
We always had 3. None
Yeah,
of
Bong.
us-
Yeah, Bong. Okay, nice. Bro, it's Bong's day today. Let's get it. Bong.
Today's 2 best of 3s. Before we get to any of that action,
Bong
however,
versus Junjia.
Worlds 2023 features a brand new format. So let's check out what to expect in the upcoming month.
Oh my god, they just obliterate them!
It's time to return to Korea for Worlds. And this year, there's a brand new format. Here's everything you need to know.
They wiped them off the map!
Worlds 2023 will include 22 teams from around the globe facing off in 3 stages. Play-ins,
Can we get a
Swiss,
Shut up.
and knockouts. All culminating at the grand finals to determine the winner of the pinnacle of esports
Wait, I'm
competition.
trying to...
Damn your church! He is here to win!
Play-ins will kick off the tournament with the first and second seeds
You guys should
from
watch this.
BCS and PCS, the first seed from LLA, CBLOL, and LJL, and the winner of the World's qualifying series between the LCS and LEC 4th seeds. These 8 teams will be drawn into 2 best-of-3 double elimination brackets. The top-placing team from each bracket will face off against the second-place team from the other bracket in a final set of best-of-5 matches. The winners of each of these matches will take their place in the Swiss stage.
Swiss stage. Listen.
Those 2 teams will join the top 3 seeded teams from LEC and LCS, as well as the top 4 seeded teams from the LCK and LPL. These 16 teams will be drawn into an initial set of 8 best-of-1 matches based on their seeding. Following the first round of play, there will be another draw for the second round to pair teams with the same record against one another.
Yeah?
The tournament will repeat this process for 3 more rounds of play, pitting teams with even records against each other until they reach 3 wins to advance or 3 losses to be eliminated from competition. While the initial rounds are best of 1, all advancement and elimination matches will be best of 3. In total, 8 teams will move on to knockouts.
Way too dank, just play already.
Okay, let's pause for a moment. That means that every match matters. All the excitement and stakes you can imagine for every battle. In the knockout stage, those 8 teams will make their way through a best-of-5 single elimination bracket, maintaining the high stakes you're used to at Worlds. No second chances, no breathing room, just one shot to win it all.
Yeah, that was me.
Leading to the Worlds 2023 Grand Final at the Gochok Skydome in Seoul to determine the champion on November 19th.
Big.
You can watch all of the action October 10th through November 19th on
I made it to Worlds.
LOLesports.com.
I
And
made
be
it to
sure to
Worlds.
log in to collect drops and be eligible for watch rewards in your region.
Thank you so much, Atlas. That was a great breakdown. And I would have said every game counts, but every match matters, works just as well. Brand new format. I'm
not
very,
fired.
very intrigued to see how the Swiss will play out once
not
we
fired.
find out
Chill
who
out.
will be joining
Chill
our
out.
already qualified teams from the play-in stage.
When are you going to Korea?
Let's take a look at the play-ins bracket because all of the emerging region teams from MSI play-ins are back.
I don't know when I'm going to
What are the
Korea.
expectations?
I'm
Google,
trying to find the
you
place to
have
stay
not
right
shut
now.
up about the returning
I don't know where to
performances
live.
and all the prep. What are you hoping to see in the next couple days?
Well, I'm really hoping to see a lot of them continue on the trend that they did from MSI. It's not very often we get to see the same teams from the same regions be back again.
I need
You will
somewhere to
always
live.
have your DFM. Loud is kind of getting there as well now. R7's been here for a while, but it's just
T1?
the fact that we will see.
Bro,
the same
yeah,
matchups go
I'll
up
play
against
in the
some of
T1
same
office,
teams.
yeah.
There is
We'll stream
possibility
from the
of
T1
it,
office, but
depending
I don't
on
have
the
somewhere to
outcome
live.
of today's bracket
Okay,
too.
I'm not
And
living
the
in the
fact we
fucking
can just
streaming room.
Continue the story of not just a region, but the teams and specific players against other players is amazing to me.
Yeah, and I'm interested in the philosophy from the failures from MSI coming into Worlds. Some teams have kept the same rosters as you've mentioned. Other teams have slotted it out. A great example is GAM that we'll see later on today, like swapping out their bot lane and the excitement of those new players coming in.
Make
So
sure you go to
I'm
the Discord
excited to
and you
see
put
which
your vote in
philosophy
for
wins
who you think's
out
gonna win.
and how much teams have improved since
If you
then.
get the highest
Do you
points,
think
you win a
it's,
prize.
Do you think it's easy, or do you think it's very hard to actually get
Last
a read
warning,
on how
it
good
starts
or bad
now.
these teams could be? Because I think we've already got preconceived notions in power rankings, right? But
I'm
it's been
banned
a
on
long
Discord.
time,
Oh.
new patches, but a while since they played domestically.
They're not all going to be good. I'm just going to put it out there, okay? And it's easy to grasp
Oh, you're
this. I think
banned.
there's some misconceptions for a lot of people that tune in. Of course, there's
You're
always
banned.
the chance that a team will make it through and they'll actually be a contender like VCS was back in the day. And that's kind of what you're hoping for some of these
Yeah.
minor regions. But I can say,
Yes,
like,
I need to find somewhere to
none of these
stay,
teams
and
are
when I do,
winning worlds,
GG.
but that's not what they're playing for either.
Yeah.
They're moving their region forwards. They're continuing with their players.
Yeah,
And
playing
that's
team
what's
one loss,
excited to look at as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's at least my take on it.
Honestly, adaptation is the word of the play-in stage right now because, as you've mentioned, how many patches have come and completely changed the meta from a really hectic portion of it.
Yeah,
where you're seeing
BDSGG
the
doesn't
LLA,
count.
CB LOL, even
Why does
VCS
Schoolboard look like it's from
have
the
really
70s?
action-packed, bloody games. But now we're seeing Oriana, yesterday's games, where you're seeing a lot more front-to-back, play it safe. I want to see if the adaptation has been made from some of these teams.
Also, I want to see
Johan, thanks
what
for the resub.
yesterday's 3
And
games,
Campo, thanks for the prime.
what kind of insight it gives us into how the meta is going to play out. Obviously, it's a very small sample size, so we don't know.
Yeah.
One last quick
Do
question
you like
before we
board
move into
games?
our
I'm opening up a
pre-match.
board game shop with
VCS,
friends.
How do you think preparation
Yeah,
will get
sure, I
impacted
love board
by
games.
the Asian games? Obviously, the players were not going to be in the core units together. You know, I think it could have an impact.
I reached out to them, and you know, each VCS team had to send 3 of their players.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means Team Worlds had 2 players they could play with. So did GAM. So they moved in together, and then they found a 5th member. And to quote the analyst, "We had McDonald's scrims to keep code practice going." So coming into it, Asia Game has
McDonald's
obviously had an
scrims.
impact on some of these teams, and
Yeah.
that is something we will see from the VCS.
I think it'll be pretty good for them, the fact that they, even though they played so many patches behind
don't see
on
Casual on the
Asian
desk,
Games patch,
OME.
the fact that they were going up against such
Dude, shut
talents
the
in
fuck
the Team China, being able to win
I'm waking
win
up
out in that
slowly, I'm
series
waking
and
up
then
slowly,
have
and then we're gonna
that
big face
series
it.
versus Team Korea,
Yeah.
you're not going to
You
get
don't
that
know what my
quality
2
of practice
anniversary?
anywhere.
I have
whether or
to
not
disable,
those
sorry.
individual abilities can then be brought back together as a cohesive
Yes.
team. That's what we're going to find out. Game, of course, we'll be playing a little bit later today. We'll take a look at how the rest of the teams will be performing. And with 7.5 minutes to go before picks and bans in the first best-of Worlds 2023, let's dive into PSG versus R7. I want to start with R7. I think they've got the
PSG
uphill battle.
versus
I think my
R7. Bong
expectations
versus
is
Junjia.
This team is
Big pace.
not the favorite, shall we
Yeah.
say. But I do want to highlight that they didn't lose a single
Bong.
best-of series in summer. Incredibly dominant. I think their time with the major lead of the entire summer season, 40% of game time. I mean, that is phenomenal.
There he is.
I've been pretty high
Holy.
on the PCS for a long time, but I'm feeling excited for Rainbow 7. I think they'll take a game.
Where's the crowd at?
Like, they're an example of a team that from
Is
MSI
Junjia
split
good?
split to this
Yeah, I
time,
mean,
they've
he's pretty good,
improved
yeah.
dramatically. As you've mentioned, not
All right.
dropping a series. They've been really limited.
I'm gonna run ads now, so you don't get ads during the game. You know how it goes.
I think they'll
You're not gonna miss
back
anything.
in this
It's
meta,
gonna
but
6-minute
I'm
timer. The
feeling
ads will
pretty
finish
good
before you get
about
there.
this team.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to do it at the
What
start of the
Rans just
stream,
said, he didn't
so
say
it
they'd win the
buffers.
series. He's happy
You know
if
how
they
it
win
works.
the game.
Otherwise, they'll run
But
in
I do
25
agree as well,
minutes.
because that's a hard sentiment. PCS is by far the best region coming into today, in my opinion.
I'm sorry.
And R7 is looking to continue on that
You can
trajectory. with
click
the same
back.
roster that they've kept to build on what
I don't know
they've
why I'm
achieved at MSI.
dragging on
So
about
let's
it.
talk a little about that mid laner, Meru. Very strong performances, very strong stats and
You
whatnot.
can prime to
But I
off it,
think-
or you can
what
just
was it called
click
when
off
you
for
said
now.
if he's
It's
not
fine.
Ari, you're not there?
Okay,
They just ran. I know. The
The
start is always a horror.
Ari is by far his best champion. Let me put it like this.
The start is
Sometimes
always
when he's
horrible.
playing other champions, he does
Doesn't have the
look
same
like he's
impact,
running
right?
it down.
Otherwise, they're
There
gonna
was
get
a
it in
time when he was
25
playing
minutes.
Jace in playoffs, he literally dived level 2 by just running in a seer.
God.
The seer flashed away, and he died. So your expectations of what you're getting of Miru
Any
could be a
primers?
bit up in the air. You might get him on a good day, and he's gonna look insane like he's done in the Ari. And
What
you
is
might
this,
get him on a
R7
bad day
versus
where he
Est?
will actually
Oh,
look
Bong's
like the solo
ganking mid.
laner.
And the reason I wanted to set it up that way, I think it is.
That
it is
guy got
very
hit by
important to share
1,000.
with our viewers, especially viewers that may not be as familiar. With
Now you're
the
only a
terms of
Koshumi or you
which
Koshumi
champions
LCS?
he can
Yeah,
impact
maybe.
on, and also, we'll be
Yeah, maybe.
pleasantly surprised if things go well.
That's
I
the
mean,
excitement of it.
Yes,
There it is.
and the hopefulness of it too, right?
Yeah, and for me at least, I love that he's as aggressive as he is. His team is playing.
Yo!
hard. We're seeing constant plays around mid lane, very creative.
Yo, what
plays
the fuck?
From their support, in which he's going around the lane, so they don't expect him to be on
100
the top side of the map,
gifted
so
subs
they're
from Jimbo.
relentless in how creative they are in trying to
100
make action
100
happen mid lane.
100
So I hope
subs?
they don't play
Holy
so
shit, bro.
passively with how we've seen.
Why did you drop
the
100
meta
subs?
basically shaping up. I'm excited to see.
Yo,
how
everyone
Miro's
say
gonna
thank
play.
you if you got a sub.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but Rainbow
100
Seven
people
as a
just got
team
ad-free
traditionally quite
worlds.
Kill heavy, quite aggressive in the early game,
Yeah.
not necessarily playing for like plates or controls. See hero, kill hero.
Yo,
type of
you're
gameplay.
absolutely
Exactly.
We'll
possessed.
see if that'll work. The reason I wanted to focus in on Miru
I know, I don't wanna open
specifically
that.
is because it's one of the
Yo.
golden oldies on the desk. Many viewers who may be as old as I am will
Bro, why
remember
did you-
Maple, the legend of the LMS.
Thank you so much, Jimbo.
The people's
I really appreciate
champion
that.
of the PCS. He's back. He's in the
Thank
mid
you, man.
lane.
Much love.
starting
Everyone
with
at Jimbo, give him some
PSG. I mean,
pokes.
when we take a look at his experience, we take a look at just how how many events this man has
Here's a-
played. I think Miru's going to have an even tougher
There's a
time.
kiss. Add
First
5
of all,
hours.
You don't have to be plus 30 to know who Maple is. I'm fully capable.
Add
of
5
that.
hours.
Every day
I
he's
was
starting to lose that memory.
I was saying,
Maple's
yeah, but
playing,
these
let's
things
get it.
happening, But that's also the experience you're going
I didn't
up
know
against.
the-
While Maple has been here for so long, it's not like
I didn't know
his
the PSG
skill
roster,
level
actually. I didn't
has
watch
actually
any of these
taken a hit by
wildcards, but
this. If you watch the
let's see
previous
what they
video,
got.
you would realize how
Let's see what they
skillful he
got.
was in the mid lane, how
TSM
much pressure
Maple.
he actually had in terms of just getting priority, mostly playing champions like Asia as well, where he was insane, and then just moving it around the map and playing around junglers like Junjia.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
crazy,
and the
man.
point
Thank
that I
you for the
wanted to
subs.
hit, the amount of first team all pros he was able to hit since the
TSM
beginning of his
Maple.
career to this point, the amazing consistency that he's had. He's still the student of the game, and that's what's amazing about a career like Maple. I remember when he was on TSM, and he was like carrying that corpse across the finishing line with
TSM?
how solidly he was playing. So I love seeing Maple.
TSM.
You are right; it's going to be a little bit tougher for Miru. That's why he has the help of Leons and Odie. So it's going to be a constant 3v3, 2v2 to get that guy ahead.
Yeah, Maple did not play Jace most of the time, but what they did though instead.
I
was
like
that
the world's
they
branding.
adapted to
It
Levi,
looks cool.
Where you cannot build Crown of the Shadow, Krino, and the Jace, and they just blow you up. So while they're not fully
Chat, tell me
open
something
to the
interesting
adaptation
before
of
game
what
begins.
champions
Tell me
are
something
better,
interesting.
there are
Who's
the
gonna win?
adaptation in how do we shut the meta champion down, and that's also
The
what I'm
alert's
looking
muted,
towards
yeah.
a new meta for Maple with.
Let's quickly zoom out just before we dive into one of the players to watch. Give me a quick overview of what you're going to expect from PSG as a team, Rainbow Seven as a team, so that as viewers and myself, we know what to look for and what we want to evaluate.
Yeah, I think that Junjia has to be a game you put out there, right? He was the MVP in so many of their games, but also their final summer MVP. And I think this is a
Classic.
perfect meta for Junjia with the kind of champions you're coming through. He was known for playing every now and then a game of SAG.
Yeah, I'm
Now
sick.
Sejuani,
I don't know
all
why.
these facilitators, but he's a guy that also loves being facilitated by his team.
Something's
We
really
saw
wrong with my
the
body.
Lilia in the finals, but
I don't know what's
also
going
now
on.
We know that Belvis is up there as a priority pick. Lee Sin is up there as a priority pick. I want to see Junjia be released and not handicapped by having to play these facilitating junglers.
I love that you said Lee Sin, because look at the list out here. As you have mentioned, the wealth of options that he had, the AP junglers that I kind of expected going into this tournament to be really favoring him, but the fact that Lee Sin
I don't think it's a
is
carry jungle
priority
meta, you
pick,
know?
and that's kind of the pick that he's made a name on, especially when he was a trainee on EDG.
I think it's still tank jungle.
Want to see
Especially
what
if mage
he
mage
is going
mids
to
are the
be
pick.
playing in this series, because they're going to let him go. He gets the green light for
Tank
any action,
junglers
and
are
it's
so
going to
OP.
be his teammates that follow
Poppy,
him.
Rel,
Listen,
Maokai,
guys, when you
Sejuani.
said that
Zach.
R7 going to be picking up a game against PSG.
Yeah.
Neither Goldborg nor my
I don't know.
face was on
Lee
camera
Sin's
at the
probably
time.
playable.
We rolled some
Lilia's
eyes
probably
a little
playable with good
So,
comp,
with
with
a little
good
bit of time to go
top side
before we
draft.
get the Moscow fan predictions up.
Okay.
I want you to tell me how and where do you expect R7 to be able to pick up a win?
I
Jarvan's
think
OP
it's going
this
to come
patch.
through mid lane. I think Miru, as much as we question
Is
him
Jarvan
as being
OP?
a coinflip player, though, when we see him play at his best, it's
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think
we see him
situational,
play at
though,
his
because
best
if
when he's
Ezreal is blind
extremely
pickable like
aggressive, when
yesterday,
they're looking for dives through
and
mid
Kai'Sai's
lane with
being
him,
played,
so
then
I think
Jarvan
he's gonna be
Prio
the one
gets
that
a bit
leads the
dropped.
charge alongside Leons and Odie. So
Especially if Lee
that's
Sin
how
is
I think they're
playable,
gonna pick
Poppy's
up a game.
playable.
The
Jarvan
problem
is a bit hard to early
when
rotate, I
it
think.
starts being a longer mid game, they're gonna
All right,
lose
don't
waves
forget.
on side lane. That's when it's a little bit harder for them. But
Your guys'
they're gonna give
pick'ems,
them a shock and
okay?
awe, at least in one game.
Before I get Goldborg to respond
Your
to this
pick'ems.
very
I'm ready.
Pick'ems should be locked now, I
Don't
think,
give him
right?
too much time.
I I want to see what the fans at home have
the pick'em's
predicted,
locked.
what you're thinking about the MasterCard fan predictions. Each day you can head over to @MasterCardGG on X to participate. The vote has come in.
Look,
I think they're fair.
88.5% in favor of PSG. I think that's indicative. I think that's also expected in terms of the matchups. With less than a minute to go. 2-0 or 2-1?
I think it's 2-0,
X.
and I think it's for the reason
89%
that
PSG.
Seoul has such a big win condition for them.
Holy
and
fuck.
they prioritize
Bro,
the
let's
outside
go
of the
R7.
field
We're
of
fucking
view.
cheering for a
And I
bong
think
today.
with the skillful laners you have at PSG as well,
Let's
that's
go
where it becomes
bong.
very difficult for R7 to strike. I actually think though, if you want to strike, you strike at the bot lane because there's so many times where Wako get left by himself on the first Herald, and if you can have a play where instead of fighting at Herald, you cross map down on the bottom and you try and shut the enemy AD down, that can set you up for more dragon stacking towards the mid game. But I'm curious to see how they will attack this game itself and the series in general.
one player I haven't even touched yet is Bong, who I feel like is really
Here we go.
isolated. If he's in that 1v1, he will do his job. So
Yeah.
expect the 4v4 on the bot side of the map to be, look, I agree.
I dropped
PSG
my berry.
is going to have an upper hand in a lot of these games, but Bong is going to be the tipping point.
Well, we'll find out whether or not R7 can rely on Bong to hit up that top lane or not. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody else, without further ado, it is time to kick off World 2023
To hit up the
play-in
top lane.
stage with PSG Talent versus Movistar R7.
Ooh.
월드 챔피언십 플레인인데 DRX와 RNG의 경기가 자 갑니다. 그룹 스테이지가 시작되는데 진짜가 오는 거죠?
No subtitles.
메이코 렛츠 댄스.
What is going on?
DRX의 용두스 경기력.
업셋 게임셋 동화는 실화가 됩니다. DRX
2022 LOL 월드 챔피언십 파이널. 기가 막힌 경기가 이어지고 있습니다. 백도.
Good finals.
DRX가 이 말도 안 되는 스토리를 완성시킵니다.
Play-ins. Hey, the last team that won Worlds was in play-ins, and all I'm saying is BDS is in play-ins. A movie. Everyone get the popcorn. Shut up.
가을이란
Someone translate.
월지의 계절인 것 같습니다.
Someone translate.
나뭇잎이 서서히 물들어가는 이맘때 시작해서 깊어지는 가을과 함께 롤드컵의 서사도 함께 물들어가죠. 2014년, 2018년, 그리고
Feel strongman question mark.
2023년 월즈. 다시 한번 한국에서 가을과 함께 시작합니다.
经历了7次的世界赛了，这次也不例外。我会奋斗到最后一刻。
BDS is gonna win Worlds, he said.
La verdad que no me importa mucho tipo lo que piensen de mí. Si estoy
He doesn't
acá,
care what people think about him.
estar acá.
That's what he said.
두 번 다시 오지 않을 기회라 생각하고 최선을 다하겠습니다.
Utapon.
あれじゃない、ジャングルの位置分かんないと、ここにフッピーいるの、この情報がないとマジでランブル怖いタイミングだけど。
自己觉得其实 DFN 跟我蛮像，就是以中下为主的队伍，什么都玩，什么都玩了。
啊，我觉得都很稳。
但他比赛不会这样。
To be out of LEC twice and then finally have this chance. It's been a long time coming, and finally, I'm here. I'm here.
That's right, baby.
Từ lúc mà thành lập tới giờ thì đây là thành tích đầu tiên mà team có thể làm được. Nhưng mà giấc mơ này vẫn chưa kết thúc.
Chung kết thế giới đơn giản là một giải quan trọng nhất trong năm. Được chứng kiến Dragonix đi từ vòng play-in đến vô địch chung kết thế giới, thật sự rất là truyền cảm hứng cho tụi mình.
E eu pensei comigo mesmo que dia pode ser eu.
Eurobo!
Agora tá na hora de criar uma nova história.
Tôi rất mong chờ được đối đầu với các bạn.
Vamos todos dar nosso melhor.
True.
작년 DRX의 우승은 모든 것을 바꿔놨습니다. 더 이상 불가능이란 존재하지 않습니다.
That's pretty.
플레인 스테이지 이제 시작합니다.
Playing stage starts now. I got that one. True. No, I got that one. Stop saying turn on the subs. I don't control them. Alright. Let's game, gamers. We're gaming. Oh, it's the LCK intro. Where they do the player shots. And they walk in.
With their first championship being in the spring of 2020, this org has since won 6 championships and is now PCS's most decorated team, PSG Talon.
Wait, the Discord votes were 34k for PSG and 87 for Movistar Riders? 87 for Movistar? Their mics are cut out. Oh, they have a problem with the technical, I think. PSG Talon. Now, coming in from the LLA, we have Movistar Riders.
At this year's MSI, they picked up LLA's first international best of series win. Now, they're looking to make it 2. It's Movistar or 7.
Or, Dagda. Little Dagda. I see him. Boom. Bro, he's gonna clap some top lane today. Oh. Are they not talking or is their mics cut out? I can't tell.
Hello and welcome everybody. Come one, come all. It is the beginning of the League of Legends World Championship 2023. I am Just Ushy and I'm joined by the delightful Dagda as we are going to be bringing you our first 2 series of the tournament.
Dagda.
I'm so excited. I'm literally
Dagda, my goat.
I got butterflies in my stomach, man. It's so good.
It's so good to be back, and I'm super excited to see
Dagda, my
exactly what's being
hero.
brought to the table by the Plains teams as well.
Dagda carried a
especially PSG
150
talent,
kilogram
I've been very
treadmill
hyped for.
up
A
2
lot of
flights of
faces I would
stairs
have known from playing the LPL.
while I
So
watched.
I'm excited to see exactly how they will do up.
My legend.
Maple coming back into the roster, but as we kind of like announced there, I mean, R7 picking up the first international best
No,
of win at
I was
MSI
steering
for
it.
the
I was
region.
steering it.
Now
He was
gonna see if
lifting
they
it.
can try
I
and
was
put a
steering.
PSG talent
Okay.
in as well.
That's the big thing. Like R7, like Latin
Without
America,
my
they
driving,
felt
he wouldn't
like
have got there.
a little bit of a nobody region for a while there, but they got put on the map for MSI, so it really felt like it could kind of maybe build upon that. But
What do you mean steering?
you know,
Well,
it
I
can
was
be
like, you know,
hopeful, but hope is
he
sometimes
couldn't
a
see
dangerous
because it was
thing
so
because
big
they've
and he
got
was
a pretty big
so I was
task
guiding
ahead.
him.
PSG talent are no cakewalk.
Yeah, they've looked absolutely spectacular, and I think kind of the team to beat coming into this when you start off with World's Play-ins. I think the big one for me is trying to see if you can punish
What do you
when
mean
it comes to
backseating?
the overextensions that we sometimes get from players like Junja. If you can do that, maybe you've got an opportunity, but let's be real, PSG talent have been absolutely spectacular. Their objective setup is really, really clean. Their team fighting is great, especially with Wacko kind of providing that big DPS.
What do you mean
from the
you've seen
backline.
my driving? I
think
have
it's
a
gonna be
driver's license.
hard-fought battle here from Movistar R7 to try and find that victory spot.
Yeah, and look, it's been a while since I've had a last cast. The LPL ended very early. It's 13-13. We are now coming on to 13-19. So give me kind of a flavor of what we expected. So a little bit of it yesterday within the World's Qualifying Series. What are you expecting to be the kind of the must-haves or
All right, focus up, chat.
Well, look, Oriana is broken.
Who do we want to win? Let me poll the chat.
They tried their hardest.
Okay, this is not who you think will win. Who do you want to win?
I think you start to see a little, maybe coming into this, a bit of a different look coming through from the jungle. Like you got to see at least a little bit of like the Talia starting to come through.
Who do you want to win, not who you think you will win?
We're starting to see a few more of those carry picks coming through in that jungle as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more
Click
of
the
that.
poll.
Even in LEC, we got some Karthus brought out a little bit in the jungle.
Okay,
but I
PSG
think we're gonna
believers.
start to tend
I
a
see
bit
you.
more towards that. Still got a lot of your carries in the top lane, the Jaxes, the Renekton's, Camille.
Bro, everyone get cozy. Get cozy, get your feet up, get a tea, feed your fish, wet your cat. Okay?
That kind of mixing things up.
Worlds has
You're still
begun.
gonna get a lot of
Okay,
that
there's
Kai'Sa
30
and
days
those
of
things
this.
as your top dogs.
30 days.
Yeah, the hyper carries. We'll see what the builds of the Kai'Sas are. I've seen a lot of
Okay, draft
cooking
time.
online going in, but I don't think we shall wait any longer. We shall no
Draft
longer
time.
hypothesize where we are going. New format, same stakes. You have to try and do
BO3,
your best. You
it's a
have to
BO3.
take every game
No
as it
more
comes,
BO1.
And you have to put your best foot forward. We should be jumping into Champ Select straight away.
Yeah, the best of three is definitely going to try and...
I put PSG to have the fastest game time. So I really need PSG to stomp someone really hard into the ground. And the first series, it needs to be this series. I need to win fastest game of the tournament in this series. That's my all-in.
I am curious how to see what Junja brings out, because the bet stays we already see the bans coming through.
I need PSG to fucking roll them in game 1 or 2.
Really likes trying to go for that more carry-oriented
Come on,
style where it's
PSG.
allowed to even things like the Lilia as well.
Come on, Junji, I believe in you.
Can you always imagine the Junja kind of going, do we have to ban Lee Sin? They're like, yes, we have to ban Lee Sin. Can I have it? No, we're
Mods,
not first.
Gamba after draft. Mods, don't listen to these frauds. Do Gamba after draft. Otherwise, they're going to be like, oh, why are we Gambaing before draft? Shut up.
Something that as well we kind of saw
Double
the other day
jungle
as well,
Ben.
something like the Renekton kind of went through one game and then
Are
was
they
not
gonna first
allowed
pick
after
Talia?
the fact as well. Poppy gets taken away.
Senna
here.
ban.
Again, a lot of those facilitating
Bro, I need some
early
Jax
games
bans for my
junglers just
pick'ems. Where's
taking
my
off the
Jax
board.
ban at?
Senna gone as well. Senna has definitely risen up in priority.
Where are my
And you
Jax
see
bans
there
at?
A lot of things like the Tam Kench as well coming back into that mix, but
My
opens
Jax
up a
ban's on
lot
4 or 5,
in that
Breach.
bottom side as well to try and be just such a nuisance and such a difficult.
What bans do you need, chat? You need Kai'Sa Rel?
Deal with in that laning
Well, you got
stage.
the Rel.
On the upside, there, Akali taken away. So I think you're kind of looking at things
Akali
like
ban.
the Talia. We saw a lot of priority on Ori Azir, probably going to be high priority. But even some things that we saw banned away less.
Oh,
like
people
Jarvan,
put Jax
who's
as
very,
well.
very strong
Yeah,
with
don't
his
worry,
Spirit
guys.
Shojin.
Jax
And
is
with
a
the amount of
4-5
jungle
ban.
bans we're seeing,
Okay, 1,
that
2,
could
3
definitely
bans
look
change depending on
like
who you're
Azir,
facing.
I
But
think
4-5 bans
Azir, Ori probably
can
gonna
stay the
be
same
hard
sometimes.
Yeah, we seem to see the Vi kind of still
No
being
shot,
there.
no
Look,
shot
at the end of the day,
Tristana
no matter
first
what way
pick.
the jungle kind of changes, Vi is still very
Why is Vi
viable
banned?
because she's just point and click CC. Pick champ, C champion, pick champion, kill champion. But now that we come into this one, PSG will have that first priority, and they might be, yeah, exactly as you said, the Jarvan having a huge priority just given the amount that have been taken off the board.
I mean, Jarvan's hardest counters are Lee Sin and Poppy. But I didn't think it's a first pick champ. If they draft around you, isn't it really difficult? Ezreal's a good pick, yeah.
Very, very high priority in that bot lane. Very safe, great scaling.
I mean,
Had the
Kai'Sa's good too,
opportunity
but
there for your-
I guess, I don't know if you have a Draven player on the
your
enemy
support
team.
to start to roam around the map is going to be massive as well, especially if you've got that aggressive Jarvan on the opposite side.
Yeah, that's locked in.
Is
as well.
Jarvan
I love
Orianna
this
just
Ezreal here as well,
gonna
because
happen
actually the
on my
Jarvan kind of,
screen?
it's almost
Is
like
that
a game
a-
of chess, really. It's like we got the Jarvan. That means the Xayah isn't as viable. You're going to have to look for something different because, you know, there's sometimes Z-axes in League of Legends, but it doesn't work with Cataclysm, unfortunately. But that's not going to be picked, so we got the Ezreal locked in already. I feel like, yeah, I was going to say the Renekton is such an easy pickup right now. It could be blinded into so many matchups.
Yeah, 100% win rate for Bong as well, and a 4.8 KDA for him, so he's been very, very strong in this pick. And you heard
I need Azir to be picked for my most picked champ of the Worlds.
Is terrifying, but
are you going to coach him every game of Worlds? Yeah.
I'm actually really
Xayah
excited
is no
to see
shock.
what this matchup is going to be in that top side, but maybe a Jax pick going to be coming through if it makes it through that.
I don't know what the meta's like right now.
At the moment, I think
so I don't really know what's safe in these drafts.
In here, Xayah is a good option, plenty of peel, and then I imagine going to be that mid lane role picked up here as well.
Cassante, but yeah, Rakan's also a really OP champ.
Yeah, just going to solidify that bot
Rakan is super OP.
Okay, interesting enough, PSG
they should probably play Ezreal Leona here, I think.
Goes into that top lane matchup against
if they drop Leona, what are you playing? Ezreal Nautilus sucks, Ezreal Alistar can work.
Yeah, I imagine so. On the upside here, though, I'm curious to see what Miro wants to go for, because Miro
want
is
to take
definitely
Talia?
someone that
Jungle mid flex.
Yeah,
Talia's good against Rakan, but against Jarvan it can be annoying. I mean, obviously the EQ is nice to play against. Jax ban! Come on, Jax ban! It's good into Renekton, Jax ban, but they have Talia. Cringe. They're not gonna ban Jax. Fuck.
So these flipbacks and even the
I do think Leona ban. Leona
Alistar?
Alistar? What does they play? Ezreal what? They can't play Ezreal Brown, Ezreal Nautilus.
I love it as well because it's a little bit of a flex as well, like technically as well. It can go to Audi into the jungle, so yes, we do expect it to go into that mid lane, but you
oh yeah, we need Nautilus. For most deaths, you're right. You're right.
Broken. R7 recognize that now and go, cool, let's ban it away, take it off the table.
Yeah, I think it'll be the Azir maybe coming through as well, so it looks like they're not as worried about Ozzy in that top side, but I think at this stage, yeah, just try and solidify a strong matchup in the mid lane, because there's very little things that can actually deal with the amount of push that Talia has, and that can open up a lot of opportunities then for Audi to try and control Junji in a lot of respects, because I think that's where the most terrifying matchup is. You heard Gulberg talk about it on the desk as well, like Junji is very good.
What was your highest win rate, champ? I put Camille for 5 games highest win rate. Hope it doesn't get played much, but I hope it wins.
At least find that bit of wiggle room in the jungle matchup with pushing lanes.
My predictions. Jax ban! Yes! Yes, I told you, it's the 4-5 ban of the tournament. It's a steal, it's a steal. Okay, none of that rel bullshit, okay? Jax ban is the hidden gem, I'm telling you. On Renekton blinds, Cassante blinds.
Is he gonna go for Talia, or if he's got something else in his pocket?
Yeah, I don't think we'll get.
Don't play Ezreal Karma, please don't play Ezreal Karma into Jarvan Rakan.
The Vi's gone was one for him as well. Viego was
okay,
his
that's fine.
Other most, like third most played when you look at the stage 1 in the Maokai gone. So
I mean, what do you pick here? Into Ezreal Talia. Syndra? Syndra looks good, no?
Is not kind of what we see from
Syndra looks kind of good here. Syndra Jarvan? Xayah Rakan?
With the setup you have from Talia, that's a pretty strong mid jungle, but
Syndra
Cassante? So careful because Jarvan can interrupt that incredibly well. I'm curious to see what Maple actually decides to go for here. I think Azir,
Nico, yeah, can work, yeah.
These could work out
I don't like Nico
very
into
well.
Ezreal that much, but
great team fight, which is kind of where PSG like to sit.
That's the thing as well. Like you look at the composition from R7 right now, like outside of kind of like, you know, in terms of their carries, they're just kind of poking.
I don't know any of these players' champ
pools. Down about 2/3, 50%. Then they go for the engage with maybe a flanking Renekton.
I don't know.
Coming in from the side. But if you just have this kind of Venn diagram of death with the Rakan,
Aatrox. Ooh, I don't know if I like Aatrox here too much. Kennen.
Let's just add even more circles to the matchup if you're going to lock in this Kennen
yeah,
as well.
They should last pick Alistar then. Against Nico Kennen, if they're not 5-picking Alistar, they're cooked in. What? Why don't they go Alistar against Nico Kennen? What? These two champs are flashing on my backline. Can we go Alistar? But Nautilus is good for the pick'ems. It's good for the pick'ems. Alright, don't forget to subscribe to avoid ads. You know the deal. You know the drill. If you want to avoid ads, you can subscribe to the channel. It's free. You can prime the whole month. It's Worlds, so you can get it in early if you want to avoid ads.
That's the big thing, and as well as that, like with the Talia and the Nautilus,
no Kai'Sa ban.
Ways of delaying.
Yeah.
Great ways of stopping them from getting on top of your carries. So really is going to be how they're
God,
able to
I'm sorry,
execute on
I'm
the
sick.
competition. But I will say for PSG, the great
Pick'ems based analysis,
is
bro.
they lose one player, they still
Holy
have
fuck, the subs are going psychotic. What the fuck? You guys are mental.
Incredibly good at, hey, we want to reset
well, if you prime, then
waves,
all of Worlds is ad-free. Yo, Mike, thanks for the 5 gifted. You're nuts. I'm not adding 30 minutes.
You want to set up for flanks. You want Kennen to be coming in from
G2.
Nico from another.
Yo, G2 fan in the crowd.
You want to make sure you've got multiple different angles of attack here.
E2.
I think that kind of plays in towards what has been the strength of PSG.
Nice, we're good on pick'ems. We got Jax picked, a band, and we got Nautilus locked in for deaths.
We want to get in early, get some early skirmishes going, particularly
actual big pace.
Play around this Renekton top side for things like Rift Herald, and then look to
actual
try
big
and
pace.
set up something for ourselves where we're just coming into these fights with an early lead and preventing you from getting that vision that allows your composition to function.
Well, no expectations at the moment. 0-0 on the board. You don't really know who's going to pop off, who's going to make a moment of themselves. And it really does kind of come down to, doesn't matter about the rest of the season, it's all about now.
You put Sejuani for most banned and most deaths?
PSG Talon versus Movistar R7.
That's a risky one.
Game 1 of the League of Legends World Championship
That's a risky
2023 is about to begin.
You're saying it's going to be banned a lot, but also die a lot. So it's kind of like...
You hear the cheers from the crowd there, excited to see
That's the problem.
R7 take the stage, but we're going to have to see if they can try and continue what has been, at least for them, the campaign started last year, or last MSI, to try and set themselves up with that first win. They're going to have to see now if they can do it.
So it doesn't make much sense.
PSG Talon, but PSG Talon, honestly,
I believe in you, though. I believe in you.
PSG Talon don't make it into.
All right, Worlds has begun.
Failure for this team. They are so incredibly strong. Plus, even having guys like Corgi, the ex-EDG assistant coach, when they won Worlds, like this is a team that is set up to take.
What is the capacity of LoL Park? I don't know, actually. Probably like 500 to 1,000 people.
Amazing to see.
Roughly, I don't know actually. Looks like it.
Absolutely. I mean, like I don't think it's unfair to say that PSG Talon have just been dominating in the PCS ever since they kind of became PSG Talon, and
500.
It has just kind of come down to how they want to try and
what is that Talia
skin? Try and push for things as such like that to get beyond the play-in stage, and then even
LEC Studio is like 150, I think.
In the Swiss as well. So in the group
I don't know.
stage, so
actually
we'll see how far
I think it's
they can go.
150.
There's definitely an awful lot
or
more
200.
Up in the air. It's definitely not as clean cut as it used to be.
I mean, I'm excited to see just even how some of these new champions coming into this kind of work out. Like Kennen having
Come on, I need PSG to win quick.
This is, I think, going
for
to
the
be an incredibly
pick'ems.
strong matchup into the Renekton. This was always a bit of a skill match.
I mean, Nautilus to die 100 times.
Positioned yourself in the lane. If the Renekton could try and close the gap, get onto the Kennen, you're in a good spot. But with the likes of the Summonary, if you're just getting poked down, it's so difficult to try and manage. You can already see Bong losing a good bit of.
I mean, they're playing Talia Renekton. Astral Nautilus lane is so weird.
A bit of an engage down in the bot side, but no level
I think
2
R7 draft is just so sketchy. So sketchy.
Aggressive move there from Seo.
That was
the big
not
carries
great.
from MSI.
Yeah, I think Lynn's just missed out on one of the CS, so you could see a little bit behind on the level 2 spike. So even though he went in aggressive, didn't quite have the level that he's expecting to.
They can't dive top, can they?
Go all in there, but
nah,
you still
no
see push going in favor of Seo and Lines for the moment. But I do think as Wacko
Can't
gets
dive
access
Bong.
to level 3, he'll be
You
able
don't
to
dive
start
Bong,
getting
he's gonna
control of
smoke you
this
if you
lane
dive
stage,
top.
and that's where it'll become a little bit easier for Junja to try and look.
I think
for maybe
Junjia
some
reset
control
his.
of
No, he
this
didn't.
bottom side, like
I
get him
thought he
to face
reset
the
his wolves
body,
for a
but,
second.
I imagine we're going to see a lot.
Holy,
of
last hitting.
Junja
Oh, I
towards
missed
the
it.
lanes, and that's kind of where he's been a staple for PSG Talon.
Yeah, well, since it is the beginning of Worlds, don't forget to log in and watch on lolesports.com to earn exclusive Worlds 2023 drops like emotes and icons. Lots of free things. Everyone likes free
Wait, I
things.
think you can get drops
like
on
free
co-streams as well, but I don't know how it works.
I mean, look, it's simple economics, isn't it?
I was going to make a joke about yesterday, but then I stopped myself. Free
Oh.
things.
You don't get to,
I wasn't even there. It's not even my region, but sometimes it's just fun.
I saw someone
kick him
say
out
that.
while he's down.
I
That's
saw
just bad.
in the Riot thing something about drops.
You know, I think for a lot of
I'm gonna
these,
talk to
like,
Riot.
drops
They
and
said
gifts and
I
stuff
need
like
to
that, it's
enable
actually kinda
something
sick.
to get drops.
I'm a little bit sad that like I end up working these events a lot, so I end up missing out on them.
Yeah,
so it's
I
just
know,
kind of
right?
like, oh, can you just add it to my account?
I
Is
always
that a
message
thing?
my flatmate and I'm like, hey, turn
Log in.
on PC, please. Thank you.
I would mess with
I'll talk to Riot about it today, but there is definitely a way that I can enable
You're home, but you're not home.
VODs.
I'm home, but I'm in a hotel, which is a weird one.
VODs? Drops.
Yeah, well, obviously it's been a pretty quiet 4 minutes or so far at the start of this game, and honestly it's kind of what we expected to happen. PSG, they don't really have a huge amount of ways of kind of affecting the lanes unless the Jarvan comes in, and
Let me
Junja
check
just
one
hasn't really
thing
had an
quick,
opportunity, as
just
all
in
these lanes,
case.
except for bot lane, obviously have been pushing in.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to wait
settings,
and see for a little bit. I think the real fight is going to start to kick off when this dragon starts to come up. Like, now that Wacko's hit level 3, we'll be able to shove out this wave, get his own reset in to match
I'll
the
talk to him
reset from Seo, and then they'll be in a decent spot.
If
to
you want to
try
get drops, you
and
can
pull
open
away.
up the LoL Esports stream on
Especially
another
when you're
tab.
looking at, hey, look, we've got so many ultimates to kick off at level 6. Rift Tower is going to be another big one for PSG Talon, but a lot of it's going to revolve around, hey, can we try and get multiple members up towards
nice
this top
trades.
side? Because I think if you don't have, like, Woody on his way as well to try and help this one out. There's opportunities for Audi to try and play around Bong, like get a quick combo there to take out Ozzy.
Jarvan full
or,
cleared.
You know, a lot
I
of
hate
setup that
Jarvan's
can
at full
come
clear.
from Miro as well, so it can make the team fights a little bit tough with just
They have
trying
really
to
good
play
vision
into
bot side
what
as well.
7 have in that 3v3 skirmish.
And the thing is, like, you know, it's been passive as such, but you can see the CS leads in the top lane.
Why did someone came in the chat and just said, "Is this guy fired?"
Little incremental advantages being kind of brought up here for PSG Talon. And Audi, unfortunately, he's sitting on a ward. They have full recognition and vision of what's going on here. He's not really going to find much else. But
Maple is baiting it nicely.
Towards having a level 6 potentially. And Audi, they know you're there. And there's a Jarvan off to the side as well. They're going to try and fully engage onto this one here. The flick back does not land as the flash was used by Maple. Audi taking a lot of damage. Still has his flash if he needs it. Good rocks being thrown here.
Didn't turn out very well.
Means that nothing else going to come out of it, but flash burnt by Maple.
Yeah, great bait though from PSG, right?
But
They're
Nico
like,
didn't do any damage.
We know he's on a ward. We're going to try and make a play. And you can see on the opposite side, R7 did have vision down to the Raptors, so they knew that Jarvan was probably going to be in this top side, but decided to go for the play anyway. Maple's flashed down, but you got a good amount of damage returned onto Audi.
And the level 6s are hit. This is where I'm starting to get a little bit
Caedrel
more
slept through a game he was supposed to cast? That is so
Anticipation
untrue.
building
I've
as we
never
know that
slept
these
through a
teams are
game I
going for it.
supposed to
I love
cast,
what R7
ever.
are doing, recognizing, hey,
Never,
we just
ever.
saw the Jarvan mid. We can be aggressive. We can start to push this up a little bit further and maybe get a bit more of a lane pushed in bot side.
Yeah, I think the downside for this is that like for the downside for PSG is that Leon's has a good amount of potential here against Woody that we might just see now. That's kind of the downside, is if you ever try to go forward as Rakan, so much of that CC can be plonked in your direction, can make it hard to go aggressive in this matchup. But at the moment, you're still
diving top,
or
are they getting smoked in this top dive?
CS underneath this tower. They got Audi down on the spot side just to make sure they
dive
continue
looks
to
a bit
push
hard.
They even start up the dragon here with the amount of
this early game from PSG is a bit shit.
The bot side. I'm watching to see exactly what Maple wants to try and do, because he was leaning top.
So Seo looked for the knock up, didn't
wait a
land
second.
it, flash in, they get the root down, Wacko has to cleanse, a lot of damage coming down first.
Oh my god, he almost predicted his flash.
That Mystic Shot was a hair away from setting up R7 in the bot side.
Yeah, I love the aggression though. They see that, hey, look, the knock-up is
Bro,
completely
they're both
missed,
dead.
and Miru knows it as well, so Audi going to finish off this dragon, and now that Talia's on the way, Jarvan though, Junja waiting in the wings to try and turn this around.
I love this move from R7 as well. They built up the pressure bot side, had a ginormous wave.
Talia actually has 0 damage
and
early.
not only that, but Junja dropped a ward
Especially
on
with
top
Merc
side that
first item.
immediately got him found out, so they knew where the Jarvan was. Great reactions from R7, get themselves the reward in the first dragon.
Yeah, they do end up getting the advantages, obviously, with the cleanse being down, the flash for Woody being down and that, but, I mean, they burnt Leon's flash as well. Most of that was, the CS was picked up underneath the tower as well by PSG Talons, so it would have been nice if they could have got slightly more, but still, I love that we're getting this aggressiveness out of R7 to try and find these little advantages.
My Pick'em 07, or your Pick'em's fucked?
Junja was spotted before he came down here. Did clear out a pink ward before, or a vision ward before he came down here, so they know he's
yeah, it's only a top gap. Bong's getting smoked, but
no, I think
it's fine. He's playing Renekton.
Like, come down,
this is the -4 magic resist they set him up for on the patch on Renekton.
He actually stays close enough to the wave as well, where he pings level 6, which is kind of the big mark you want to hit just before you come in towards this Rift Herald fight.
Nerf champs nerfed.
Or 10 seconds time as well. So you help your own bot lane get the reset, and PSG can actually drag Woody up, as you can already see now, towards that Rift Herald, whereas they can keep Wacko safe and sound on the spot side as he's about to ping over to level 6.
Wait, actually, yeah.
Himself the Feather Storm, so very hard to kind of lock him down once more. Audi is level 6 as well, so should have the Heartbreaker. And I mean, look, all the pressure and all the great things that are happening for R7.
As
they
he's
are
doing
paying
really
the
nice.
price. It is a push
Nico
and
flash
pull
is still
game.
down. Oh, good nice,
They're waiting in the wings here. Does Maple walk towards it? That is the question. Woody is there as well. They're going to get the stun down.
Oh my god, Talia missed W on a stun target.
A little bit of CC.
No, Talia!
Unfortunately, mean we'll go on for first blood.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened with Leon's. I think he was trying to hex flash over the wall to follow up.
What happened actually? What did Nautilus do? Did he fail the hex flash?
The follow up there that they needed. Junja had started up the Rift Herald, but I mean, at the moment,
so we missed Talia W and we failed the hex flash.
In the jungle, yes, they used Audi's ultimate, which is a bit of a sucker punch, and they might just back away, but it looks like at the moment PSG aren't as confident to try and go for this. They want to get the reset onto Maple, who'll now have to come back into
lane. What are
lane
we saying?
Yeah, bot lane should be pushed in here.
Weibo Gaming Crisp.
It should be kind of the real trade-off right now. Does still have TP here onto Miru, so should be able to kind of get down, clear this ward, and join up if he's needed around that Rift Herald.
Yeah, and that's why R7 get mid-prio off the back of Maple having to reset. Now they know, as you say, Miru can always join in. So they've got
this is actually not bad by R7. They have TP.
PSG really want to
Talia should TP mid soon, though.
Low, they get the root down, they get the knock-up as well. Level 6 hit, the Cataclysm comes in for Junja. He does get the knock-up at the back of it. There's a slightly
what is going on? Oh, it's disgusting. It's all just disgusting. Oh my god.
As he gets on top of 2, the Pop Blossom is decent, but there's no damage right now.
What?
The resets are coming in. Double kill for Seo. R7 are
holy R7, let's go, baby.
R7 are coming in hot to Worlds 2023. Miru TP's in. They get the fight. And
Pick'em's 07.
Way too over aggressive. They didn't have the numbers. They didn't have the setup, and everything rushed and everything goes awry.
Seo doesn't have flash or heal. Doesn't have his
Nice kill.
And that's a shutdown there. Just not.
God, that topside fight was a mess.
That's a big win for PSG.
That was a
though,
mess.
After you just had that fight go
Everyone
wrong,
just did the most
having
obvious
Ozzy
play,
pick up
which
2
sounds
kills
very
off the
silly,
back
but
of this
everyone
this
just kind
game
of
is
ran in.
kinda terrifying
And it just turned
as
into
this
this
game starts
fucking
to go on,
mosh
at least
pit.
to get something back, but still R7, massive play for them, and you get to see it here, right? You can see Miru
Nautilus
catches
hook was
that
good,
wave on
Nautilus
bot
ult
side,
was
and
good.
immediately Zaya starts to move up, but Leans is already
Jarvan
engaged
ult
here.
was good,
They get a
Jarvan EQ was
massive
good. Then it
knock-off
just
on
came
2
like, what the
people.
fuck?
You just
Kennen
don't really
ult
have
flashes
damage
into
to
the
do,
Jarvan
Immediately
ult.
has to get out of the
Ezreal
equation. OD manages to
east to the
flash away
side,
from that
then
engage. The
Nautilus
Kennen
flashes
not
on the
really
Renekton
doing as
flashes
much
on
work as he
Jarvan,
wants.
and then they get double knocked versus
Massive
Talia.
flick back from Miru, gets the CC, gets the damage down, and sets up them for those resets on OD as well.
Yeah, just skirting.
Everyone just kind of ran in a straight line and pressed their spell.
Seo, sadly, had already used his arcane shift in the early game.
Nautilus
That is a hell of a
died. Yeah, it's
cooldown
good.
there. I think it's like 20+ seconds at the first few levels. So
Caedrel Kennen, bro, my Kennen is crazy.
Unfortunate there. Look, it's a small win back for PSG, but R7, they're still going to be feeling pretty good there. You can see there the
What the fuck was that?
lane economy massively in favor
MasterCard.
of the kind of rest of the map, apart from Bong. But in fairness, he knew he was playing weak side anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where you're kind of going, hey, look, the extra gold onto Seo is going to get him towards
Thank
his
you,
Triforce,
MasterCard.
going to get him up towards his tier item as well, and you're going to be totally fine. I think Bong definitely does want to try and like stay at least even in this lane though, because when you're a Renekton, you just
I don't
become
know how
lucky
strong
if you start
Ezreal
to
is, you
fall
know.
behind. So Ozzy getting those 2 kills was
I've
actually
heard that he's
pretty big
really
for them.
broken.
But unfortunately, as you said, like we were talking about, like Seo giving over that
But
kill in
at
the early
times I
stages,
see him and I'm
now
like,
means that Ozzy,
lane phase
a lot of
weak,
these
or
fights are
like
gonna
just
rely on
even
him.
all the time.
Zaya just isn't going to be able to keep up with the damage that Seo is going to be able to
We
churn
haven't
out
seen
as long as
Kai'Sa
he's
into it
got
yet
consistent
either,
shots.
which I'm surprised by.
This
I feel
Kennen
like
is
when I look at all the
going to
LPL
be
LCK players, they're
menace
just
that
spamming
PSG
Kai'Sa
talent
every
need
game.
to work on.
And the big thing about that last fight as well is that we saw all the ultimates, but
But
they were kind
Ezreal's
of like
skill ceiling can be
Cataclysm. A couple of seconds later, then it was
determined by the
Decisive
players so
Maelstrom,
heavily.
then a couple of seconds later, then it was the Pop Blossom. It wasn't a big wombo combo. It was kind of one after the other. When you're able to get those all together, that's when you're going to see a huge amount of burst coming out from PSG, and R7 need to be very, very wary of that. But yeah, you can see by the total
they have
damage,
Triforce on Diego.
it's
That's really
pretty
strong.
in favor of the Kennen right now because of just all the poke they're able to throw out.
Yeah, I know. That's why we kind of need to look at the flashes as we start to come in towards a lot of these fights, right? And it is specifically on towards Miru and R7. He's the flash you need to worry about. Seo will be fine. He's got his own arcane shift to be able to get out of there. Bong has got his way to slice and dice his way out of a lot of that damage. But if it's Miru getting caught, he's just going to get completely wiped out. And if you then have that follow-up coming through from PSG talent, it very quickly starts to snowball out of control. So that's where PSG, as you say, they need to kind of play patient
I don't think
and
they have a
actually
kill
start
here.
to set up themselves up correctly.
That Kennen has
Unfortunately, that has
fucking
been the
mythic.
biggest
He's gonna
problem.
one-shot
PSG
anyone on
talent
that
is just
tower.
that impatience coming back to bite them at times.
Yeah, we saw that R7 tried to overload the top side there, but really not in a position there. I think that Asi was just
Briar
very,
is
very
disabled for
smart of
Worlds.
how he played because cool, all my team's bot side.
Wait, which dragon did you guys
I do
choose?
not need to be aggressive right now.
I think I
Backs
chose
himself
Hextech.
away, and it doesn't really lead to anything. You will still have the Rift Out to be used, but where you use it's going to be key here now for R7.
Yeah, I imagine that this is probably going to go down in towards his bot side, like just try and snowball Seo even more. There is an argument as well to try and get on towards Miru, but I think you're so vulnerable if you're trying to overextend in mid lane versus Maple and Junja, which is the
You chose
1-2
Ocean?
combo that
Oh,
they
okay.
have. It'd be so risky, but maybe, just maybe they're looking to go first.
I'm going to try and pop it into Miru, but again, this is just kind of priority in the top side now. Maple making sure that this does not have a clean push, and that's going to be all plates going over to the
jungler.
The jungler. Not the worst thing in the world with a Viego being a carry, but definitely would have
Yeah,
preferred
it's
it to
game
go
one.
into the
It's game
especially
one.
right
Don't
now
worry
to
about
get
it.
that first item.
And that's what I was kind of saying, like, they didn't have vision on Junja, so it's so scary to try and push up that far, especially with Woody, even out of the equation as well. He wasn't showing on bot lane, so they completely back away. And don't
Bro,
get as much as they
the
like to,
pick
but
'em
yeah,
of which
Viego
Drake will
getting
be
it is nice,
the most
but you
like
definitely need
common.
to get
It's the
Miru into
hardest.
position.
Like
you can
it's
see
just
one
complete
of the few
RNG.
people that doesn't
You have
a,
no
mythic
information to
item
go off.
picked up from when it comes towards the damage dealers. So he'll be able to reset and more than likely pick up his Leandra's Anguish, but still this is giving PSG the
It's rolling a
opportunity to
dice,
get
and if you
the
hit a 6,
division
you win.
down, try and spot out how they want to attack, and it looks like it might be Miru who's the target of that.
Yeah, Miru just wants to try and clean up a bit of these waves. I do think they have enough in their inventory just to be able to get that last little bit of gold.
There's a lot of
Towards their
clouds,
item.
yeah. In the
Maple's gonna
LCK, there's a
stop
lot of
them
cloud
off. I mean, it's
dragons,
pretty
that's
obvious.
for sure.
I felt like that dummy stayed there a very long time, like a lot longer than it normally does. But I mean, double Triforce on the side of R7, they have got a pretty decent one. But yeah, you can see.
Oh my God, we're back
Yeah,
again.
that lane economy is starting to get bigger and bigger for PSG in that top side, and it's becoming a bit of an issue because, again, like you said, it doesn't become about the laning phase anymore. It becomes about those team fights. Audi He's going to get jumped on here. Will
Don't
not
have
have a
much
huge
damage.
amount of damage thrown onto him just yet. They've invested 2 ultimates. There's going to be
Right.
Miniru coming back on
He's
top of this one here, though.
Jarvan
Junja
Rakan.
immediately flashing after the fact to try and make sure he stays alive, but he does get taken out. Woody
Oh,
can't
Saya
get the
no
root
flash.
down. TP's coming in. That's going to be the Kennen trying to or Maple.
Oh,
excuse
Rakan
me,
flash
coming
doesn't
in
get the kill.
afterwards.
Oh no.
Miniru cannot just
He
be
should
walked
die
over
here
this.
though,
Audi gets a
Talia. He should
reset.
die to Rakan maybe.
Will not get the flick back, and they will trade back
died
1
to
for
Rakan.
1. So it's a little bit of a scrappy one there for PSG. They thought they found someone.
Oh, top
Yeah, they
fighting.
tried to get the pick, but just not
Running
enough
from no
damage.
flash.
And a good wall coming through from Miru as well, because you've already got that ultimate there for Odie to get himself back out of the harm's way, but because Junja had already used the flag and drag.
Yeah, I
wasn't
thought
able to
PSG
follow
was a good
across,
team.
same with Woody, so
Everyone was
they ended
hyping up
overcommitting
PSG.
then for the pick, and at least
I didn't watch any of their games, but
back as Wacko answers in return.
It was a 4v4 bot side, but actually in the top lane it was a little bit of a 1v1. We saw both ultimates used. We actually see the flash from Bong used as well. But let's have a look at this one here.
Jarvan
Audi,
Rakan,
they have
no
full
damage.
information on him, and that's why they feel comfortable to go in and try and get him out off by surprise.
Yeah, and you can see, like, yes, they get a ton of CC down, but the damage just isn't quite there. So Audie's able to flash over the wall. I thought it was a little bit of a dangerous wall coming through
They have
there, but
Maple.
actually worked out. Miru gets the kill.
Yeah, well, Maple's
Unfortunately,
not
tried
on
to do so.
not on
He ends
TSMs.
up
Maybe it's good.
way overextending.
Maybe
Good
it's
knock
good
up then
now.
from Woody as well to just find that
Don't be a
speed for
game on
Wacko,
Andy.
and with the W
Actually, if
popped,
PSG
Zaya
lose
ends
this
up
game,
getting
that means they have
movement
2
speed
more
towards her
chances to
target,
break
so
the
she's able to
record.
just chase that one down.
There's no way this guy stopped
okay,
him
so
on
that
his
was
tower.
a
Soldier.
Yeah, so interrupts
Holy
the
fuck.
TP coming
He's
in, and that's
mental.
why he lost a lot of his health, lost his flash,
He lost
and
his
now
flash.
he lost his life.
That's very unfortunate. He was trying to be an absolute bro. Does have the slice,
Wait
does
a
have the
second.
Oh,
dice.
Wait a second.
Bong!
Himself out there. Bong,
Holy
despite
Bong.
the pressure being thrown onto him, is holding his own on that top side and doing what he needs to do for his team, keeping the
What a
cannon
legend.
away.
Yeah, Bong doesn't crack under the pressure, able to move back, get out of the position, and now R7 trying to set themselves up as well in this mid lane. Wacko needs to be so careful.
Yeah, needs to be very, very careful. That mid lane going down could be huge. There's a pop loss.
Oh,
Flash
Maple.
is good, but can they get the damage afterwards? They do get
Oh,
Sayo.
Maple.
The bomb comes
Oh,
in straight
Bong TP'd
afterwards.
in.
A
Yo,
slice
Bong.
and dice will get him back over the wall. But I mean, just as Dragon's about to spawn as well, Rift Herald on this field as well. PSG should be able to get so much with this.
That was really
Great
good.
pick from PSG. Immediately moving over towards the Rift Herald.
Maple
With
diff.
40 seconds on towards Dragon, they can even get the reset, use this Rift Herald then in mid lane to get pressure and commit towards that Dragon as well. So really great timing there. Again, this is why you got to be so careful and trying to contest on that mid wave.
But
PSG
Nautilus
has
didn't
so
die.
many
We need
different
Nautilus to die
angles of
more.
attack, and they catch out Sail. There's such an important member for that.
I know
Look,
the
it is
fastest
only
game
a
time is going to be in the
one
Swiss
kill,
stage,
but
and it's going to be
CG
like
tower,
EU
you
versus
do end up
Korea
trading it,
or
though,
fucking
for a
LPL
Rift
versus
Herald
Korea.
tower in top
It's going to be
lane,
some
pressure around
dumbass
this
game.
Dragon in 20 seconds as well. Audie's nowhere near it, so the junglers are actually going to find each other saying, so sorry, didn't mean to be here, and it's a little bit of a 2v2
Or maybe NA
for
versus
the moment,
LPL.
but I
It's
mean,
going to be
it's a
one of
jar,
those
but there's
games.
not
18 minutes.
really
I'm going to say it's going to be
situations he's gonna be able to knock it out of.
Yeah, the thing is,
18
though,
minutes
they've
25
several
or something,
members
and it's going to
in
change
this
from
top side.
1647.
You're going to only delay time until this Dragon comes up.
Yeah, we're gonna
You'll
ride
have
18,
PSG who are
25
gonna be in a position
OME.
to try and follow up on that. They're basically PSG Talon are trying to delay the opportunity for R7 to go towards this because they'd love the TP to be up for Aussie. Probably won't be as R7 kind of realize that. It looks like they're going to immediately move over towards that objective, but you're still getting good reset timers here for PSG. And now they can start to try and contest this as Ozzy will push on top. Is
Whoa.
Yeah, Audi might have to use his own ultimate there. Not quite sure what happened there with the hook, but he misses a completely.
Whoa, Nico damage is actually not bad. Yeah, kill Nautilus. Big kill.
Is decent on the Junja, but there's just not the damage right now from the Celia.
Man, R7 mid game is atrocious. All they're doing is running mid and hoping for the best. That's literally all they're doing.
Had a good start.
I don't
now
understand
they're starting
it
to fall
at all.
apart. PSG just picking them away bit by bit.
Yeah, I think when you're looking towards this, R7 just need to take it slow.
They should just
see
play
if they
mid
get
to
some
bot.
poke
I don't know
with
why
Sail,
they're all just
get some
standing
poke
around
with
mid.
Miru, like, get the vision down so you're not running in towards
Talia is just
Maple
standing there
every
like,
single time. But even with the flash down, Maple's able to make it happen. Now you get, well, they haven't moved over towards Dragon, but you'll have to get this mid lane tower at the moment. And R7, well, maybe
PSG
not.
are very
R7
sloppy, though.
able to delay this. A lot of PSG kind of scattering to the four corners.
They're
so
being
not
gifted
committing
free
enough to
kills.
the mid lane tower. Just yes.
Charles, the cannon minion, couldn't do it for PSG, unfortunately. But yeah,
Like they're just running mid and hitting the tower. This one was a good play. This one was a super play from
Yeah,
Maple.
I mean, you've
I think
already got
Ezreal
flash there as well,
how to
coming through
react, I guess.
for Sail.
This
So
one
he
is
should
unlucky.
never really be getting caught there. He probably had the
But this
arcane
one,
shift
where
as
is my
well,
jungler
which is
going?
not
Like,
reacting
there's
in
no
time.
mid push,
And
no
then
bot
this as well
push.
again,
My
like,
support's in
just
river, they have
overextension. Like,
full
what is
vision.
Leon's gonna be able to do here
Where is he
with
going?
Odie?
That's Diego.
Like Miru, yes, can try and come in, but actually just ends up cornering off his own teammates in that situation. And Sayo's got to play super far back here because he's worried
What
about,
region
you
is
know,
R7?
the Kennen
They're
coming
from
in,
Adelaide.
Maple being in position. That's why again we're kind of saying, hey, look, you need to be able to set yourselves up early. early as R7 on these positions, like control the choke points so PSG Talon can't just run in on top of you, but they just haven't really set themselves up for success in that regard.
And the thing is that, yes, we are seeing this a trade of sides right now. PSG getting the Dragon, top lane being pressured in, but it's always PSG coming out on top. They're now getting bot lane pressure. They got the mid lane. They're getting so much more bang for their buck that it just feels like R7 are just constantly behind. Like, it's going to say get probably maybe even another wave. It might just about get lucky, but I think
I feel like the only person who has good macro is this Talia. This guy seems to be doing the right thing, but his team is not even here. Like why they gave up Drake and they're late to lean on top and they're defending bot.
You have to be very careful as Bong because you do have at least Jarvan hovering over the side, but Leon's and Audi are waiting in the wings as well, so we'll just back away.
Now this Talia's gonna get clapped on by Rakan.
There's still a flash and a cataclysm for Junja, but I think he's just nice little bit of movement.
That's right.
Had himself the Gore Drinker for extra healing, but gets taken down heartbroken.
Talia
And
has
this
to
is where
stand
you're
under
gonna
her
try
tier
and
2.
thrive as R7. Get those small pickoffs and build.
I keep thinking one team has an advantage, and immediately it's like, nope,
the
we're
ultimate
right back
caster
in this.
curse.
Yeah, I mean, look at the gold, right? Like 600 gold between the two teams, nothing whatsoever. I mean, a huge amount of this still is going to be on the Kennen in the top side, that like big gold difference, but like Seo doing good damage, Audi as well, you can see how much damage he could do to Junja alongside lines, so like there is a lot on R7 that can still be brought back here against PSG, so you can't
It's weird.
just, like,
They don't have much
wander into the
macro,
bot
but they're
side.
getting
You
free
don't really
kills.
have the
What they did was their jungle support did
what the
this.
response is from R7.
Absolutely, and I think the big thing for R7 getting that pick as well is that, and it's not just about getting the gold, which is nice, obviously, but it's also getting the
They
flash.
got no
because
objectives.
Junja is going to be the big main engage, and everyone else follows up with it. But great hook here from Lions.
Yeah, I think it was kind of just greedy from Junja, to be perfectly honest. Like, all you had to do was walk into the dragon pit, flag and drag over the wall, and you're out fine, right? Like, walking that way through all that vision is just going to cause you issues, especially when it hasn't been fully cleared out.
Nice,
So
now we're on the
pressure
right
from
side of the
left
map,
to
but
get that
Talia's
set up.
basing.
And I think at this stage then, you got to try and go, hey, look, PSG, just take it slow. Just make sure that you're setting up properly. You already have seen
Talia
they
has
can
void
get a
staff.
ton of picks when they're given the opportunity. They're playing well around their vision. But the problem is that now with that pick as well on Junja, not only the flash is gone, but a lot of that control you had in River is gone. You can see like all that bot side vision has been cleared out. They're starting to get control over this Baron area as well. And that's where it now becomes a little bit more difficult for PSG to find these flank routes for their squad to get on towards R7.
I'm looking at two massive items which are being completed there. Void Staff for Miryu, who's going to try and
this
make
is
use
this
of it
Talia.
right now.
Ooh.
Just a delay. Double up in that one there. Doesn't get the flick back on top of that one. Good flash away from Miryu and by Bong.
We're going in mid.
Lane, though, as we see Junja
Oh, nice engage, nice flashes. Nice W.
Coming out from the Rakan.
They got the cannon.
Comes out. Bong finally gets himself a little bit more redemption as he look for a little bit more.
Oh,
in this mid
EQ.
lane. Seo and Audi just can't do the damage. It's a 2-for-1 in the mid lane. Overall, a 2-for-2.
2 for 2. Seo still trying to see if he can get more. Maple as well. Still not out of the woods just yet. Seo, he's feeling it, but I don't think he can really chase.
This Ezreal is really, really strong.
Forward. What do we go from?
He almost has more mana.
He's looking for the outplay, but Mystic Shot's just not quite landing.
And they're playing like two different games.
Build up some confidence right now. Not many people will walk that aggressively in front of a Xayah and Rakan, and you can see there Wacko gets delayed as well, so that's a lot of damage in that tier 2. But let's have a look at the
they shouldn't go to replay there.
Yeah, Bong stepping under the tower. Miru comes in, and I like that they don't actually engage on this, right? So Maple trying
How
to
did Kennen die? Did Kennen flash over the wall to follow Redding?
handled.
No shot. Oh my god.
Yeah, it must have just, very overextension. Gore Drinker, the Q, a lot of opportunity to try and bring that one back. And Maple, you're kind of like a one-hit wonder in that bot side. Once you've used that combo, there's not much else in the tank.
Yeah, and then we saw, again, kind of fights on two fronts then, and all of a sudden a great hook to start it all off, and then it becomes so scrappy with everything being used.
Yeah, everyone on R7 flashing
away. If Nautilus had ult, they would win this. But it's coming up now. Who did he ult?
You're kind of waiting on that to restart. Audi went in here thinking he could
he didn't get it off, he died.
Just didn't quite have enough health bar left. And it meant that then it ended up being the
this is a really messy game.
The mid lane to answer for
but we like scraps.
Dagged at 23.5 minutes, 8-7. It is a 300 gold lead.
Holy shit, that goal difference.
That goal graph tells it all there. It just really does. Like, it's been so close.
The goal difference over time powered by AWS.
They got all three outers. R7's chilling.
Like the fact that you're getting
somehow
that much of a back and forth roller coaster on this game tells a lot. But you have to look now, Bong. Being careful in that bot lane, realize that there might be some people
actually really strong
behind him, so he's going to back away.
I'm going to give like massive props to Bong right now. He was 30 CS down, and now he's nearly a full level up. Like, that's insane to think about what he's doing, because he's just done his job absolutely correctly and hasn't died.
I think a huge portion of that, though, is that, like, PSG
Nautilus has second most deaths, though, so we're chilling.
Realize, hey, look, realistically, this Kennen is our big damage dealer. We kind of need him to be at the forefront, but it's not really working out for him particularly well. Like, every time they try and drag him down, the fights have been a bit separated, so they're not quite able to get him into position to try and
This will be the longest game of Worlds? Nah, this won't be the longest game of Worlds, I think.
Omicron in here is kind of nice against
not with these champs.
I think a little bit overkill, especially
maybe,
like,
I don't know, maybe if it turns into a shit
the one
fest.
that kind of steps up in these scenarios to be a big damage dealer. Like, I don't think the Morello offers you enough in that scenario.
Wait to see what they want to go for, and we are at a point now where
No,
you can
threaten
burn
Nash.
down
Yeah,
this Baron so quickly here as R7. They say, cool, you
Need
want
a
to take the
mid-wave, I
dragon,
think.
that's fine, go for it. There's plenty of visions, or ways of getting vision right now. Right between the sticks here does go the True Shot Barrage. And everyone just kind of hovering in. We're starting to feel like we're one big fight from a really big moment in this game.
I like what R7 are trying to do, though. They're trying to play in towards their vision, say, hey, PSG Talon, you have to come through these choke points, which is where our composition is stronger, whereas PSG are trying to drag them into their own vision so they can have flanks and try and catch them out of multiple different angles. So at the moment, you can see both teams kind of in that stalemate and nobody really wanting to come in.
Don't know why he's there, but he's getting all the damage. He's got the root as well. They walk
He's
straight
just smoked
into the
them.
feathers, and that's all they needed to do. Now you can see a fight on two fronts. They are getting damage down. Bong still keeping himself
Oh,
alive.
Maple.
Nicely done with the Pop Blossom, though.
Well, they just walked into them.
Enough fight for the side of PSG. They lose one, they get four.
Is it over?
And they can just barrel down the mid. They've got a huge minion wave.
I mean, Wacko went God mode in that one immediately.
Wait, is it GG?
Picks off Audi, sets up PSG, and yeah, the wave is there. The base is going to be absolutely left in tatters. I mean, 15 seconds, 26 seconds until sales up. Like, they
Nautilus, go in and die.
They might think about it. It is only game
No,
one
they
of the
can't
best
then.
of three.
Hex
Looks
gates
like
in
they're
there.
just going to back away afterwards. They've got the Hex gates. Everyone is walking away from this one here. And they're going to turn and burn for the big purple worm.
They're immediately going to move over towards that one. Now, you have TP for Mirror, TP for Bong as well, so this could actually be a little bit risky, especially
Blast Cone just came up. Oh my god, that Blast Cone timer. Oh, the Blast Cone just came up. That's so lucky for them.
Has got himself a... Oh, it's a fake one. It faked us out as well. They have vision
Guys?
on this, so they know what's going down. Audie's got ultimate and flash.
Oh,
He
no.
can get on top of it. True Shot Barrage.
Oh, no.
They're putting them in.
Oh,
It's
no.
fish in a barrel.
Oh my god, he was so late.
Trying to get out with it. Flash out immediately. Bong can't get into the fight right now. They're trying to get the stones in, but just can't get the damage out. It was just a little bit too...
Damn it, I put Baron Steel 6 to 9.
You can see the idea.
Fuck, that was one of them right there.
Yeah, they were just a couple of seconds behind and not quite able to get into pit, but we get a replay here. R7 walking in completely blind. I think PSG have walked away, but Wacko, great setup there. The CC
they just kind of
sets up
walked into
beautifully
them.
for Woody then to come in over the wall as he gets the answer on towards the backline because he's got a direct route. And it means that R7 going to move over towards the Dragon. They'll get it, but what else would they get?
What else can they get? Junja tried to do a little bit of a drive-by. Does get the Cataclysm out. Sayo just going to get himself away from this one here.
Oh,
Stopwatch used
nice.
by Junja means he won't get any more damage done onto him. And R7 are kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. They need to get themselves out. Audi doesn't have flash and ultimate because he used it last time. He will be sacrificed. And now Woody tries to go for a little bit more. Sayo, no flash, but does have the arcane shift. They're just poking them out right now. And everyone backs themselves away. Good for R7 to get the Dragon, but I mean, you still have a Baron to contest with.
The problem was that they went for resets in R7. Mirror
Yeah, I
went
think
back
this game's
to base,
over.
So they weren't able to immediately burn down the Dragon.
This game's done.
as
I don't know,
PSG
this
were
Viego
resetting after
his
Baron.
Viego was so fed, but in
PSG
every
come
fight
back
he's
out
just
to get the kill. They're now going to get bot terror off
getting
this,
popped
and they're
in
gonna get this bot
There's-
inhibitor as well. You just don't have
The Zaya is
people
gonna-
you need to defend this, especially with mid-wave now there as well.
Yeah, he's
I
be
know,
so
the Zaya is
careful here,
untouchable
Sayo.
now.
He just needs to make sure he's not getting caught out. Junja has got a flash to go for a flash flag and drag if he really wanted to, and that's going to be another inhibitor turret exposed.
Why doesn't
They get
Nautilus
the
go in and
second inhibitor,
die?
That's the question. I mean, Wacko has been fantastic with these routes as well. You can't even walk
These
forward because
pick'ems,
he just
bro.
always has 6 or 7 feathers dotted around the place.
Yeah, and look, with that, as soon as Azzy shows up, they're like, cool, we're going to be totally fine to take this. Can't really do
There we go. Nice one, Nautilus.
Feathers do go flying.
That's what I'm
Wacko does
talking
get
about.
hit by
My
the
man,
ultimate, but I mean, they're
he
turning
heard
it
us.
all back off the Lions, who
No!
ignited, getting taken so low.
Die.
Easy
Yes.
tick down,
Nothing
Woody
personal, kid.
finishing that one off in a little bit of supportal combat. And I mean, it's so difficult now to get this damage to stick. And they've got minions, they've got Baron. They might look for the end. They're going to go in. Cataclysm goes in straight away. There's the Pop Blossom down on the 2. They're just using these ultimates to try and stop everyone from dying. And Wacko just feeling untouched, unfavorable in this fight. Is he?
Wait, 20 seconds for the pick'ems. Wait 20 seconds for the Nautilus.
The first win of Worlds 2023.
They had in the KDA that take down the
Not bad.
Nexus, and PSG
Very messy game though.
smiles, but mostly relief. I
Very,
think,
very
in that
messy.
one,
A little bit,
because,
a little bit.
Not as clean as
I
they
think
would have
PSG is
hoped
going
for,
to clean
but they
sweep
still
2-0
managed
this,
to
but
pick up the win.
Absolutely.
R7
Look,
looks
it
so
definitely-
lost in the mid
I think
game.
it's definitely kind of kudos to PSG. They were thrown a lot
They look
in
busy
that
as
early
fuck.
game. It definitely felt like R7 came in with a game plan. And thankfully for PSG fans, they were able to kind of bring that back, kind of deal with the adjustments, get themselves into a much better position. And then once they found themselves in those big team fights, like we mentioned with the kind of Venn diagram.
Yeah, don't worry about the pick'ems. Don't worry. We gotta.
an
We
awful lot more
the Swiss stage is where the pick'ems will
ease
go
in these team
crazy.
fights.
I think R7, we kind of talked
Swiss
about
stage
it,
is where
they
it'll
need
go
to find
crazy.
success in skirmishes. Like the second you start moving in towards, hey, we're gonna have multiple people all in and around the same area, that's when it gets dangerous. And they kind of found that success in the early points, but they just never
Mods pay
really
out the
were able
Gamba.
to follow it through. With Sayo getting caught in the
Mods
mid
pay out
lane
the
as they
Gamba.
overextend for the mid lane tower. Then they end up with like all
You've
getting
doomed
caught
my
at times as
pick'ems.
well.
What do you
It
mean
just
I've
ended up
doomed
kind
your
of
pick'ems?
falling
It's
apart for
one
the
game.
Yeah, and look,
What do you mean?
4-7,
It's
I'm
been,
pleasantly
bro.
surprised, to be perfectly
There's about
honest. It's a
100
bittersweet
games left.
feeling, but did
What do you mean I've
decently well.
doomed your
They
pickings?
obviously had an opportunity to try and take that one, but didn't come together. But I still feel like there's an awful lot more in this series than maybe meets the eye. Definitely feel like they could maybe take this to a 2-1 if they really get the kind of execution down.
Yeah, I think execution.
It's
is also
league
just
player
an easier
mental.
tactic to
It's true.
draft. Like,
Your
this was
teammate
always
gets
gonna be
first
a
blooded.
tough
You
one.
think the
see
game's lost?
Just how many opportunities they had with the ultimates that were available for.
Not even first blooded. It's more like he missed a cannon and the game's lost.
4-7, they can try and bounce back.
Yeah, they absolutely can. But we're going to bounce it over to the analyst desk, over to the fantastic Trevor to break down that game.
Oh, thank you so much,
Debatable.
Oshin. Look at us. There's all
The
five of us.
fantastic.
The delightful Dagda and the fantastic Trevor. Oh, it's such a good day. Listen, coming into that game, I was very nervous, very
Check the
anxious
Reddit.
for
What's on the
R7.
Reddit?
I think when we saw the draft play out and saw the potential, especially for the team fighting from PSG, I also was hopeful Junjie was going to be
Oh, I met Yenkos. Nice. Korean Exedir met
early
Yenkos.
game.
He met
So,
Lore.
before we get into that, let's talk about the draft just a little bit.
Papa.
What did you make of it? Were there any big surprises?
Atlas Chronicler Valdez.
Yeah, I think the biggest one for me.
Nuke and his
I
parents.
Like the idea of J4 into Zaya Rakan on the
River.
PSG side. The criticism
And he
that
found
Levy
VTO with his
towards
camera.
R7
Nice,
is that
man.
they picked Talia on 3. Love it, right? You're on red side, picking Talia on 3. It's a great flex. You want to maybe hold it for 5. They actually just completely punted it on 4 pick for Viego, which gave the opportunity for PSG to go Nico Kennen and make it incredibly difficult for Viego to even play
Look
the
what
game.
Korean
So
Exedir sent us.
For the European viewers, punting it means you basically just give up on the aggressive move. You just give
Look at this.
away opportunities.
All 6 Asia Games jerseys.
Translating NFL to English. Nevertheless, okay, GB, talk to me a little bit in terms of the draft.
There's
then
Ruler.
Moving into the early game. What were your
Zeus.
expectations, and did it go to what you were thinking?
I think there was a
Chovy.
lot of windows that was actually missed by
We're gonna give them
PSG.
away.
I
We're
think
gonna give them
R7
away
got
for
exactly
everyone.
what they wanted out of the first.
give all of them away.
Actually, 3 clears of how the jungle pathed out. J4 needs to be a lot more.
For everyone in
active
chat,
than
it's gonna be a
Viego
world's
does.
giveaway.
And while the tracking on PSG at times
It's gonna
was
be
on
PogChamp.
point on Audi, I don't think they actually made a lot of it.
I'm gonna ship
There
them
was
wherever the fuck you are in the
multiple
world. I don't
stack waves on
care.
top lane where
I will
Junjie
send
could
it
have
to you.
died. I
Whoever
could have
wins.
even have seen them go for a level 2 dive on the bot side just to help them out with how the pressure works from a Nautilus Ezreal into a Rakan specifically, where you can shut down.
How
the
did you
early
buy those
aggression from that
jerseys?
pick. So
Bro,
I think there was a lot of
I had to
windows
get
that
my
was
boy,
missed, and that
my
also made the game
my
way
Korean
slower
rat
for
to help
PSG
me
than
out.
it should have been, but put R7 in a really good spot.
Actually, this is a pretty good
legend.
example for what feels like the rest of the tournament. The multiple patches that we saw. We saw MR nerfs to Renekton. We saw buffs to Kennen.
Freak is out there and he's super happy. He's like, I nerfed the magic resist on Renekton and they counter pick with an AP champion.
Oh my God, this
they
is what I
did it!
Let's talk about
Yeah, the
early
world's
game, talk about
giveaway
the
will
leads.
start
How significant was it?
in
Because
about
when we
an
took a
hour
look,
or two. We're
talking
gonna start
about
the world's
CS
giveaway.
advantages at about 8 minutes.
Finish
We
the
were
Reddit.
hoping
What else
we
is
were
there?
praying Junjie was going to go top, maybe look at Bong, but talk to me about the CS advantages.
NA
and,
at Worlds.
You know, were you concerned at any point there that R7 were not going to be able to, bounce back?
Yeah, I was pretty concerned. Just kind of focusing on how critical
You can
it
make
was
a turbo
for Kennen
meme out of
having
that, yeah.
advantage. It was a 23 CS advantage at 8
It's
minutes
like a
for the Kennen.
fastest game
Adja was
time,
completely controlling the matchup. We saw,
1950.
what was it, 7
Mad
CS lead
Lions.
Maple, which is fine. It was pretty minimal.
POV.
But in general, we just saw, as you mentioned, it was a nice early game overall for R7. We expected a larger deficit, but then I was like, wait a minute, there's a goal lead happening here for PSG. Where is it? Solo lanes. I was like, okay. So the criticism you had a little earlier on, we saw a little bit of it.
But I actually think R7 leading into the first Rift L, I thought that they could have cross-mapped and killed Wako because he's usually alone. Instead, what they did is that they sent their TP user down bot to actually stop Desire from getting any planes.
doomed
But
our
then this is
pick'ems.
where it
No, I
becomes really
didn't.
messy, and the point you're addressing.
How's the world's giveaway gonna work? You'll
starts
see, it's really
out from
simple.
PSG
It's nothing
is way
special.
too sloppy.
You don't have to do
You
anything
said
crazy. All you have to do is click like 2 buttons and you're done.
Kennen still had prior.
And you can win a
Responsibility for
PC
Nico
or
to come
Asia
in.
Games
Finally, the
jerseys
Nico
or
ulti comes
anything
through,
really.
but multiple members have already
There's like
died.
17 different
So
things you can
from
win.
the solo laners, with the possible lead you could have had, and the setup with a J4, Kennen, and a Nico,
PogChamp.
that fight was just played out really bad.
Exactly. PSG, I think, had all the cards at the very beginning. They had the slow push on bot side. They could get Rakan up towards the top side a little bit earlier. But honestly, Rainbow 7, to the point that you had just made, that play of having their bot lane swap mid
International, yeah, worldwide,
was
global.
a really good adaptation that gives me more hope.
It's a simple thing, but something we don't see too often. It was just something that shut down a strategy we saw PSG use a lot, where they just leave Wako alone.
One of the things I did see or I did feel throughout many of these skirmishes.
Do you need to
a
be
little bit of
subbed? You don't need to be
mechanical
subbed.
misplays, a
No.
little bit of questionable
Being
decision
subbed won't
making,
change anything.
especially early on in many
I don't
of
want to
those
be a. I
skirmishes.
don't want to be a
I will
gatekeeper
chalk
to
it up
subs only. I
first
don't want you
game
to have
on
to
stage,
pay to enter
first
something.
best
That's
of
kind of cringe.
Worlds, right? But it's not exactly the cleanest opening game for both.
Check
these
the league
squads.
Reddit.
I will say though, as the game continued to play
What's
out,
on the league
PSG's team
Reddit?
fighting composition, the wombo combo, the circles, as Oshin and Dagda were talking about. They
What's on the
really
league Reddit?
started to
Can you
take
just link it?
over.
It's
Is there
funny
something we need
'cause
to
it
see?
just didn't stop, right? You blow flashes for the
That's
for
TOS
Cataclysm,
anyway.
you're
That's
like,
not
I
TOS.
think maybe this is a,
It's
no,
TOS.
we need to deal with the
What you
Canon
could
ultimate.
do
Okay,
if
maybe
you want to
we're
avoid
good.
TOS is you could say, oh, if you're subscribed, you get 2 chances. And if you follow, you get 1. That's not TOS. It's TOS to say subscriber only giveaway. But it's not TOS to be like, oh, if you're a sub, you get 5 times the chances as a normal pleb. That's not TOS.
It's who's flashing right here, because this is going to be huge in the Drake fights leading up to it. In the coming fights, Dak already addressed it. R7 comms was a bit hard to play.
Check the Reddit, Caedrel. I told you how to get drops. Wait, really?
Play specifically, no flash to Leah.
Wait, really?
No flash on Audi. Seo does have flash. He still gets caught by it, but that makes it even more difficult, and that's why they start losing. R7 starts overextending when they don't have flash, and with your composition going into the composition of PSG, you cannot be allowed to play like that.
Yeah, and it feels like R7 specifically was cutting corners on how they were playing setups.
Bro, that sounds like you're hacking the internet. I don't know if I will tell people to do that.
You saw the Nautilus that was on the top side of the map, expecting that's where the flank was going to be. But yeah, the Nikos was coming through the bot side of the map. What killed me was the fact that the players
Yo, Tony, thanks for the 5 different subs.
It was
I appreciate
Sales
that.
that had blink and flash that died
Thank you for
because
the
they
5
didn't have the
different
reaction
subs.
speed on that one. So like, a lot of props to PSG that had a little bit of deficit after the Rift Herald, but then through their mid game were able to reclaim the game.
Yeah, and you know, like big damage from Archie as well. The same goes for the side here in this instance. But I also just think that in general,
no, I didn't.
The games are slow in the early game. What it really comes down to is how you set yourself up for the Drakes, because that's where the big fights will be happening between.
It's just
the two
changing
teams.
the source
They
of your
both
browser.
had incredibly high Drake percentage.
You're a
in
HTML
their
hacker.
own regions as well.
Yeah,
So that's where they
Mac
want
from
to
Mad
highlight
Lions
the
won't be at
fights.
Worlds.
They need
Their
to
head
set
coach is
themselves
not
up
there
better for this instead than moving forward.
because he's having a baby soon in a few weeks. Him and his girlfriend, wife, I don't know.
Actually run through this post game, we've talked about it a bit more.
He's gonna be a dad, which is Pog.
They were the better team. Play a little slow, please. Let's see
Mad
what's on
Lions,
those nerves. Let's
Mac
see
is
what
gonna
those
be a
stakes
dad.
are.
If there is one thing, like, I would actually love not to see Junji
Bro,
on the
people
job,
out here
just
having
something
kids,
different instead.
and I can't even make breakfast. Like,
When we come back,
it's rough.
Of PSG versus R7.
It's
Bring
rough.
it back, R7.
All right, you know how it goes. I'm gonna run ads in the ad break when the ad break comes. Not now though.
Oh, interruption. That's going to see a little flash and a cataclysm for Junja, but I think he's just the nice little bit of movement. Now you can see a fight on 2 fronts.
Look to Reddit, bro. Stop saying look to Reddit. Think he's gonna introduce his kid to League? Nah, League will be dead before his kid is old enough to use the mouse. That's not a weird take. His child is gonna be born in a few weeks. To play League, you need to be what? 8 years old? 9? And what's League gonna be like in 2031? 2031? Faker will probably still be playing. And you'll still be dog shit. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Let's make sure Caedrel catches a stray here, no matter what. Yeah, good one. Oh, that guy on screen. Oh, he just made a mistake. Caedrel would do the same. Why do you do that? What's your problem? Why do I have to be brought into everything that's not good? Why can't you say, oh, Deft won Worlds? Yeah, Caedrel could have done that. Why can't you say something nice? Be nice.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hate watchers aren't based. Hate watchers are rats. Ooh, look at that phone. OP. Yeah, big pace streams. Big pace world streams. merch.riotgames.com. Oh yeah, we have some merch coming out in a few days. It's not gonna be t-shirts though. It's gonna be mugs. We're gonna, if you wanna buy, look, we're not gonna give out we're not gonna give out merch. We're gonna give out mugs. If you wanna buy the mugs, this is what the mugs will look like if you want them. You know, I'll give you a teaser. They're degenerate as fuck. They're complete degenerate. You know, you can buy some dumbass fucking shit. Okay. They're just gonna be dumb as fuck, okay? Okay, they're it's obviously scuffed as shit, okay? They're not supposed to look amazing. If you want a cup, that's gonna come out in a few days. I'm not doing merch line. I'm not doing t-shirts. I was gonna do t-shirts, but I didn't like the designs too much. Well, not that I didn't like the designs. It was rushed. And I don't want it to be like... What are you saying? Check what? Someone said check a tweet. Whose tweet? What the fuck is LS smoking? What the hell? What? What? Master Yi S tier counter? Nunu? S tier counter? You know what? Fair enough. You know, let him cook. Let people cook. Okay. If people want to cook, let them cook. All right, 20 seconds. I think after this series we'll start the giveaway. After this series, we'll start the turbo giveaway. Check Twitter. What's on Twitter? What's on Twitter? Call Dom. Wait, hold up. What is this? If we win Worlds, Caedrel gets a lifetime supply of merch. Yo! Yo! What? Seriously? Really? For legal reasons, this is a joke. What the fuck? It's a joke?
We think it's like Talia is a super high priority pick, so we're going to stay on that side. But said R7 saying, hey,
what?
There's multiple things we want to pick up, so we're going to go red.
Dice of cringe. So no free merch. That's fucked up.
Case of, hey, what do you prioritize here?
That's fucked up.
PSG Talon, we saw things like the Orianna slip right the way through. Azir not being a big one, but Maple is a big player. But even I think things like okay, I was going to say jungle
Maokai.
Option, but Maokai immediately going to be the take.
4 jungle bans, well 5.
Because we did see it kind of slip away a little bit yesterday and today.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's not as prevalent as it was a couple of months ago, but
buy Weibo merch and give it to yourself.
It's still an incredible enabler if you have kind of, you know, the Rakan with it, something that can engage before, if that makes sense, when you kind of get the ultimate afterwards. But R7 now have a chance to...
Rakan is 100% win rate. Yeah, Rakan seems really strong.
A bit of a priority in a different lane. It looks like they want to try and get Seo something that can match in that bot side.
Yeah, I mean, Seo definitely got himself caught out a couple of times. So
okay, guys, it's time to prage for the Jack Span again. Come on, someone blind Renekton. Give me a blind Renekton, give me a Jack Span on 4-5. Give it to me, baby.
Certainly still needs to be quick on the trigger finger. With the Maokai tank coming in the opposite side, Audi going to go back towards something that he's happy with, which is going to be that Sejuani. So I think you open up now for Maple to potentially go towards an AD mid laner if he wants to with the Maokai there. But even yesterday we saw that, look, that isn't really the priority. I think Control Mage is just so incredible.
No Kai'Sa? No, it doesn't look like no Kai'Sa. That doesn't look like there's any Kai'Sa. Oh, they're gonna play Jace Maokai. Maybe they are gonna play Kai'Sa if they're playing Jace Maokai.
Still, Maple's most played champion by a mile within the PCS. Like something he is incredibly, prolific on. And even as you pointed out to me right now, a 91.7% win rate with 12 games. I mean, this guy is
he's a one-trick
comfortable, to say
Jace.
the least.
Yeah, very, very strong pick. And again,
one-trick
gives
Jace.
him a lot of control over the mid lane, sets you up well with a
Rakan,
pushing lane.
nice pick. I like Rakan.
Also, just the opportunity then if you want.
What do they have to pick on 3 here? They have to pick Nautilus, no?
A lot of poke that can try and come through with that, so can be a bit difficult, but also just a very strong team fight regardless. So I like the direction that PSG are going for, but again, I think this is a comp that kind of requires a bit of patience, which we didn't quite see in the last game. They were a bit all over the place, so curious to see how they want to try and operate this one.
Yeah,
pick Nautilus, yes, and die 10 times, please.
It was just kind of a little bit
so good.
scrappy
Now
at
come on,
times
just
for
a
PSG.
Jax
Kind of
ban.
find that we mentioned it a
Jax
couple times
ban
during
and
the
my
match as
pick'ems
well,
are
is that it was
great.
kind of your turn, now
Come
tag
on.
out, now tag in,
One
rather
Jax
than being a
ban,
cohesive
pick'ems are
unit. So
saved.
it'll be a lot easier to do it this time around,
Not
but I
even
do feel like
saved.
if the Maokai
Just
goes in or the Rakan goes
they're
in isolated,
100%.
they're going to get burnt down so quickly.
Yeah, and that's where I want to see just.
Come on, someone say Jax.
Have the
Someone.
opportunity to try and look for this.
They're gonna ban
Not
ADs, aren't they?
engagement
Don't.
from R7 though, so an audible
Cannon
opportunity to try
ban.
and
Okay,
punish.
we're banning
If
tops.
PSG
Hold
do
up,
end
hold up.
Getting separated on those engages.
Hold
So,
up,
again,
hold
kind
up.
of falling back towards what worked in the last one. I think Lions had a great performance on the Nautilus, catching out Junja several times, getting key hooks onto Wacko at times as well, but
Hold up.
not quite being in a
Wait a
position
sec.
to follow up.
Wait a sec. Let him
Gonna
cook.
be taken away. A lot of those. It's kind of what Mark Z was saying yesterday. It's like,
Let
oh,
them
this comp
cook.
hurt us in the last game. Get rid of everything.
I don't like this anymore. I don't want to play this game. But I mean, look, I kind of get it. And honestly, I think this Ezreal ban is fantastic. When you mentioned it just there, that
No!
the hope that could have been coming out would have been
No!
enormous had you not taken away that pick.
Yeah, surprised to see
No!
Silas though. Not something that, like, I know Silas is
No
doing
Jax ban.
like,
Fuck.
well in the current patch, but it's kind of in towards a lot more of the control mages versus something like the Jace, where you don't really get access to that ultimate. But I suppose by having the Rakan and the Maokai, they're a little bit nervous about that.
Cassante pick with no bro.
Here for Bong.
No
Great
Jax
pick,
ban.
very easy to operate in
It's
that
Gwen
top
time.
side, and just a strong blind.
Sejuani,
He's
Nautilus,
open from
Cassante.
here to go for this counter pick.
Gwen.
He's still more than likely going to tend back towards something like maybe the Ari that we saw already, something like the Azir. Both these mid laners.
Don't pick Renekton. Don't pick Jax.
And even just having something that can have a little bit of range.
Just
against
lock in
the
Gwen.
Jace is nice.
Orianna is still gone through the pack, and I
think she's
Rumble.
so strong.
I know,
Rumble's
right? But
good.
not even
Rumble's
just so
good.
strong in her own sense, but also the fact that you can just cover so much of this poke with your command protect. You have so many ways of kind of like shielding, healing, and kind of movement speed to
It's
disengage
Kai'Sa.
away from the Rakan. There's so many little things like
No
that.
one
but
wants
the
Kai'Sa.
Rumble locked in
Sivir.
at the moment, kind of really looking to try and push in that top lane advantage that PSG had in game number 1, keeping in with the AP theme.
Stop saying your
This is a very
pick'ems are so
strong
bad.
compliment for PSG talent. You got great setup, as you say, with the Maokai
What are you on
and
about?
Rakan.
It's
Lot
game
of
2.
long-range poke with the Rumble
Okay?
and the Jace.
It's
And
game
now,
2.
I was going to say, if they go towards the Kai'Sa, you got a good amount of poke as well coming through off that. But the key factor is like just having that follow-up DPS.
Aphelios. What
Actually,
the
I'm not a
hell?
big fan now of the Aphelios. I would have preferred the Sivir just to kind of help you.
Orianna last pick.
get
Alright, you
into
know the
spots
drill.
a little bit thicker when
You can
do
sub to
throw
avoid
everything through,
ads.
and yeah, I mean, there's the Orianna on the opposite side.
And you'll avoid
I
ads for
think
the
PSG
entire
talent,
of
like,
Worlds
when Orianna was a
tournament.
threat, you're now putting
You don't have to, you won't miss
Aphelios
anything anyway
as
if
a
you
very
don't sub.
close
But you can use your
quarters
Prime or a
Rumble,
Twitch
Maokai,
tier
and
1
a
and
similar
you'll
poke.
avoid ads
only
for the whole
real
tournament.
long range threat
You won't miss anything before the game starts. You know the drill.
Struggle now as you start to get in towards fights with Sejuani jumping forward, the knowledge jumping forward. And just
Your
setting up
picks
nicely
are really
for the
good.
Orianna.
Thank you.
I actually
Someone
think
actually
that,
acknowledges
all
my
of
picks are
07
good.
Could have that
Your
opportunity for
pick'ems
that
are
big
good.
shockwave
Thank
to
you. Thank
Absolutely,
you.
the shockwave, and not
Thank
only
you.
that, kind of like isolating away any kind of maybe big danger man. If the Rakan
Caedrel
or
said
the,
Mickey X over Carrier.
Rumble is
Ain't no
starting to
way.
look a bit, you know, kind of dangerous in those kind of small.
Yes, someone did say that.
Someone
Someone did say that. There wasn't a fake viewer.
Isolated into a 1v1, and all of a sudden you're in a much better position here as R7. PSG though, they have plenty of options, like you said, plenty of poke. It's going to come down similar to game number 1 as execution.
Yeah, I think the problem is though that we kind of saw PSG talent struggle with that execution coming into game number 1, and that's where I think if you go towards the opposite side, well, Sejuani great at pick, Nautilus great at pick, and although we talk about Orianna being fantastic in team fights, that shockwave also is very good.
Vamos
R7.
R7.
Back away from that safety, so I think
Vamos.
you do have opportunities as
Yo,
R7
Anonymous,
to
thanks for gifting
disrupt
10
that.
subs.
I'm
Holy
curious to
fuck,
see
Anonymous.
exactly what the game
Hi,
plan is.
Caedrel! Hey! Everyone wave! Everyone wave to the chatter. They had a sign.
Yeah, he's probably co-streaming somewhere.
He's almost somewhere in the ether.
Yeah.
We can feel his presence.
Still rapping about the shy.
Yeah, propaganda, by the way, and I'll stand on that hill.
They said hi,
Not going to
Caedrel.
talk about that until Swiss, but we are
Hi.
picked
Everyone
up
say
back
hi.
in game number 2. We're going to jumping straight onto the Rift and see if PSG can make it a clean 2-0, keep themselves in that winner's bracket, or if R7 have got themselves something fun in this series to bring us to.
Yeah, I think the big one for me is just
Thank you
seeing
for the
how
sign.
much R7 showed up in the last one. Like, actually having that early aggression that was a struggle for PSG Talent. I really thought the PSG Talent, that would be kind of the strength of Junja coming in with this, Maple coming in with the Nico as well. But the fact
I've
that
got
R7
almost
were
the
able to
same
find
picks of you in
success,
Pick'ems. Oh, buddy. Wait, how many of you have the same picks as me in
right now it's
Pick'ems?
gonna be a case
Say
of, like,
yes
can
or
they
no.
actually really have this opportunity to fight
Who
back
copied
and
my
take
Pick'ems?
over against PSG.
No, Takeover was the team last
Oh,
year.
you guys are...
Yeah, sorry, what gods.
Sorry, they could glory and grind.
You can't copy my Pick'ems, man, because then I feel so pressured to be right.
Well, we'll see. The glory and the grind is truly worth it coming out from either of these sides. And this is the great thing about the new setup within play-ins as well. Like, you get not only...
If I'm wrong, you're going to be like, you fucking dumb fuck, why did I copy your Pick'ems? I'm never doing it again.
Make your move. Again, even if R7 lose today, yes, it sucks, but you have
Guys,
a
I have
lower
performance
bracket. You
anxiety,
can
okay?
still push
Don't
forward
do
and
that
make
to me.
something of this play-ins. And I really do feel like we are going to come into a situation where that lower bracket could mean huge...
Actually, Jace has
implications for a
Doran
team
shield.
that just kind of, maybe
He's going to heal
shows
back to full.
improvements, but hasn't been able to do it on the first day.
Yeah, and I think it's as well, like, just kind of looking to see all the...
No longsword
the different
refillable, just
setups that-
Doran
the
shield.
histories that we're starting to
Yo,
get now,
Ray,
because
thanks for
we
the
have
5
things
gifted, much
like
love, man.
MSI, where we got to see these teams kind of face off
Appreciate you.
against each other. Like for PSG Talon, the opportunity to go up against Loud again. We're looking at R7 as well, wanting to go up against GAM. Like those are kind of like the mini rivalries that we're starting to get across the course of this. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how both these teams end up going up later on against these squads as well.
While we connect the narratives, you at home can connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming to grab the exclusive.
What did you? Yo, what's up, Betty? What's up? What did you predict for play-ins? I predicted BDS and PSG for play-ins.
Experimentation, or is it
Felt like the easiest choice.
Experimentation.
I mean, we're League of Legends. It has to be.
This is the second time PSG make a mistake level 1 in the lane due to level up.
R7 again. We saw this in
Twice
game
in a
1
row.
as well. Twice in a row, they've been able to get that early level 2 and really put pressure here onto Wacko.
Bro, the people who
Yeah,
took
I
my
mean,
Pick'ems
like,
and copied them are the people who believe in Mario Kart. They just have good brains. They know what they're doing. They know they're playing the scaling game. Okay, lap 1 I get hit by everything, but lap 2 I come back. It's like this.
There's no reason
It's
that
like
you should
this.
have to give over that. Like,
Lap first week of pick. First week of play-ins, bad Pick'ems.
Wacko needs to buy that minion a dinner.
Where the fuck did that
That's
Aphelios
saved
Q
his
go?
life.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, Wacko completely out of pots now. You're looking at both pots burnt by Woody as well.
Bro, what is going on in this
Huge
lane?
amount of this early
Nautilus is hooking
aggression
ghosts,
from
Aphelios is firing at fucking
Wacko,
God knows
I don't know
what.
if he can kind of push up here for the next one, because even an Ignite, a hook, anything landing might be a bit of a disaster for him.
Yeah, and he's running out of Severum as well, so needs to be very careful. And honestly, this is Sayo kind of doing to Wacko what Wacko did in that first game. Constantly putting down the feathers, constantly making you think, are you going to be okay? Do I have the drawback? Do you have the position to walk up onto this? And even then, you can see Sayo with the on the Zayas. And oh,
What?
it lands, the Ignite goes down. They almost get the feathers. I love
There's
the
no
idea
way
of
he
Sayo
ran
not
up
quite
past the
able
minion wave to
land
get
all
hooked
the
like
damage,
that.
though.
But that's what I was saying.
What is he
right? Like,
doing?
He didn't even have to use the flash there. Just misposition coming through from Wacko.
That
and
positioning
Leon's
was
there to punish.
terrible.
So now Wacko has to reset. He's going to miss out on these waves. Immediately OD coming down as well to try and cover off on this play. A really good aggression from the R7 bot lane.
Yeah, 4
Yeah,
minutes.
that's
Get
a big
yourself
mistake.
Plate. That's going to accelerate you towards that first item. Really well done. And again, like we said,
Wait, did he fuck
we
the
were
guns?
pleasantly surprised with the kind of the
Wait, did he
level
drop
that
green?
R7 were able to play.
Does he have
Again,
purple
I don't think
red?
It's unfair to say that they are very much underdogs in this matchup.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we said at the start of the day, like, if failure for PSG Talon feels like not getting out of this group. And
It's
getting
fixable.
into
I've
this,
seen Sub-Pro players
groups
play
itself.
purple-red. You
So
can fix
the
it,
fact that
but
they're
it's not great.
struggling
He
so
needs
much
another
in this bot
cycle.
lane is kind of telling at the moment. But I mean, great play from Sayo and Leon's, and the fact now again, Wacko is going to be behind, can open up opportunities.
Bro, if that was
for Leon to
Rata
start to
UC
go for
69
roams
on
as well,
Aphelios,
especially as
my
Sayo
gun
starts to hit
combination
level
would be
6.
clean
He's
and
got
that
a bit
Zaya
more
would be
safety
under her
underneath
fucking
this
tower.
'cause Wacko's going to be behind,
And I'd probably have
trying to
already
move
3
up
deaths,
towards
but
Red Tower, like,
she would be under her
this
tower.
really gives a ton of opportunities for R7 to play off that. I mean, even look at Leon's at the moment, just starting to hover towards that mid. Probably won't be able to make anything out of it, but can cover any sort of gank that might be happening at the moment.
Yeah, well, level 6s will be hit soon here between the solo laners.
True,
but
you see?
We'll have to wait and see. Bot lane is definitely the pressure point for R7 for the moment. We'll see if it does lead to any kind of major advantages or not. I do like that Bong's still able to kind of get most of the CS here. He is in a losing lane. He is going to fall behind. He knows what his position
Really
in
nice
this
wave control by
team
Rumble.
is, and it is to kind of isolate the Aphelios out in those team fights. But obviously, we've mentioned that the Orianna is broken. We've mentioned that they are so extremely strong.
Wow, this
I wanna
Rumble
tell
is
you
doing really
why.
nice.
Why is it broken? Why now has it become just be kind of big, massive power pick?
I mean, she's just gotten a ton of buffs over several different patches. Like 3 or 4 patches in a row, she just kind of started to get more and more power tweaked in towards her. And especially when you're looking at, hey, look, we're getting these, or the amount of power that she has then is just incredibly strong. You're getting nerfs towards Tristana and some of these AD mid laners as well. They're just setting up. But here,
Yeah, he's going to look to
What
wait
the
to get
fuck
the
was
flash
that
out and
JCQ?
run through. So there's a shockwave bringing them back in. So a little bit of a switcheroo, but I think Miru is very fortunate to not be going down there.
Oh my
Covered
god.
myself a little bit. Shockwave does decently there. I think
Oh
he would
my
have loved if
god.
they took another tower hit or so, but still gets out with only losing
Bit of a
his
miss.
flash.
It's okay.
Oh, get a move in this mid lane. There's the cleanse coming out. They will be able to stop Woody from getting a fully clean engage, but Clan burned anyway.
Fuck, why did I believe in PSG for fastest game time?
Fuck.
I believed in them. Why did I do that? I should have just chose Weibo.
I actually don't know if Lane's wanted that one to hit because Maple is waiting in the wings here. Just going to pick up the fruit for the moment.
Okay, bot dive. Hold up. Let him cook.
Shock blast over the side here, so they could be very, very caught out as I can see them now go.
Where is my Aphelios going?
Wacko. The feathers don't come back just yet, though. The turret is still doing damage. First blood goes over. It's a 1-for-1. Both supports picking up kills.
Yeah, Wacko went way
Did Aphelios... Was he trying to pick up like a Mario Kart coin? Where's he going?
Tanking on his behalf, so the damage wasn't
Just let Rakan walk up, but they're not going to leave the tower.
And Woody has to give his life as a result, so a bit messy on the play. But at least they do get the kill, so Maple will at least force one wave to be missed by Sale, but not the best of plays from PSG Talon.
Not the best. Still 1-for-1. They get the first blood.
Oh, his controller disconnected
as well. So you see this wave. I feel for Bong right now. He wants to crash this so badly. He's like, it's in such a terrible position.
Yeah, I don't think Aphelios needs to walk like this.
Just walks forward, and then they just kind of go, cool, we're just going to engage on you.
Yeah, and you've already got a ton of feathers that are out.
I don't know what that achieves. You're putting yourself against a wall.
I think that would have then
you have no space.
Turnaround play. Probably 2 kills going across to the R7 bot lane, but I mean,
wow, this freeze in top has been fucking brutal, as he is bodying Bong.
Patience that's coming back to bite PSG Talon in a lot of these equations.
His wave control is really good in top, as he really nice lane phase.
It is still a decent move on the bot side. They will be able to kind of move forward knowing that that cleanse is down here for Sale. We'll have access to the Featherstorm hopefully very soon if you're an R7 fan. For the moment, it is still looking pretty even Stevens, and I'm loving lines on this Nautilus in the laning phase. He really does look confident and just kind of constantly looking for those hooks.
It might need to hook away here though, because I can already see Maokai starting to come down into position. Wave is not in a good spot for R7. They kind of know it.
Yeah,
no cleanse on Zaya.
They're going to be able to kind of move themselves away. Bit of Spider-Manning. They will get the double knock-up, but a route underneath the tower is not ideal. Seo gets crashed backwards. Not quite able to get the
easy
route.
clap.
That's just an easy
kill Nautilus for the pick'ems,
Oh. Lane of PSG, a little cleaner and a lot more important as they got the kill over to the Aphelios.
I mean, brilliant timing as well. Like, look at the purple bar underneath Sale there on the right-hand side of your screen. He was basically a
yeah, they both got hit. What they should do is they should let Nautilus tank, and Nautilus can buffer his hook on the route. And then they both live.
So all that early game they were like, yes, this is it for R7 is completely gone out the window. Wacko has the level advantage. He's got the CS advantage. He's going to have the reset advantage here as well and be able to pick himself up something nice. So I think this is where
well, as he can dive him. I mean, he should like try and dive him to force him off the tower.
Through the advantages that they picked up.
Yeah, there's that Featherstorm coming into
just don't die.
Like you mentioned there for Seo, so he's finally got access to that.
The safe option is just base, but
Flashless
I don't know.
He does get caught out for a moment. They're going to look for a flash here onto the mid lane. They're going to try and jump it on top of
nice, get the kill. Come on, boys.
With the shockwave, as he got knocked back, Miru is going to fall to this ignite. That's Woody picking up his second kill.
Come on, let's get a snowball rolling. Let's get it rolling.
Like the PSG we expected to see coming into this matchup. They are much more cohesive, much more confident to look for those big fights.
Yeah, Woody and Junji are doing work in this one to turn around a lot.
We need a quick game.
Nearly a 20 CS lead coming through, about 15 CS lead was happening in that
Rumble.
before Maple was able to pick up that lead. So
is this guy maining Rumble? Does this guy play a lot of Rumble, has he?
Woody coming up now.
He's really clean.
Turn that around. 2 lanes righted, but maybe Woody's in the wrong place, but should be able to just dash.
Still a Rakan, so he's going to have plenty of movement to get himself out of danger. We do see a little bit of movement coming in as well from the jungler, but Audie's kind of been a bit muted, to be perfectly honest. He hasn't really been in a position to make things happen as you do get the gold.
What is my bro hooking?
Coming in here, and a little by little, bit by bit, it is just kind of going in favor of PSG.
Oh, no.
The feathers are being put down quite a bit.
Oh, he
they
took
will
a tower.
try
Oh
to
my god, they...
Unfortunately, if it does land, Wacko did have access to his cleanse, so I don't think it would have meant all that much.
R7 needed that to work, though. They're trading this for Rift Heart on the top side.
And the Zaya took so much damage trying to force that Aphelios back.
Maple, who's coming back off this reset of mid, he's going to be in a very strong spot. Like, they have to do this quite quickly. Push will come through on bot side, but Sale can't really stick around, so I'm a little bit nervous about the Dragon, although it looks like PSG not really wanting to over-contest here.
I do think that with Miru having full priority in that mid lane, it does make it a lot harder, considering there was a reset coming in from Maple, and he didn't want to use.
Did you see Seos' reaction? No, I didn't.
You don't have a very quick dragon, as you see, so that's where it could be a little bit dangerous. But yeah, they'll be able to take us.
Cloud Drake. Come on, Ocean next, please, Ocean. Fuck, man. There's been no Ocean Dragons yet. Come on. It's because they're playing in LoL Park. The IP addresses or something make it so Cloud spawns.
Just went straight mid after taking that dragon of the global kind of call as such, but now kind of turning that from top lane, or sorry, from mid lane to top
Rumble.
lane. Now we are going to see Bong just getting rooted down. Didn't get the CC away from it. Tried to go.
Bong. Oh, he lives.
The tower. It was almost
Oriana, you can't fuck this up.
Now trying to find out where this Rumble is going. Will be able to eventually find him, you imagine, but taking a fair bit of damage by.
Oh my God!
There's the shockwave. Does finally
okay,
land,
got him.
and they will be able to trade back 1-for-1. Good flash to get away from that accelerated shock blast. And R7, they're trying to keep this one going because
nice try by Azzy. Nice try.
Kind of running away from them.
Yeah, a little bit. Miru able to get one back, which was nice, but you can see Azzy with the sidesteps made him work for that one. PSG though able to move back down onto the spot side, but we're gonna look here like. Nice play from Junja. I'm not sure when Bong used the W though. Because here you could actually get away from it, but must have just used it in the trade before this. And then knock back from Azzy. Good flash away. And then Miru, Junja just has no damage. So Miru is able to just ignore the big tree. The Whomping Willow, not too worried here. And then
if he got out that shockwave, he could live.
Azzy out of the bush and just gets the kill before the rest of the team is able to show up. Maple tried to predict that flash, but just not quite able to get the position.
Yeah, I don't think the shock blast would have been able to kill him, but it definitely would have been a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it would have been
to go.
I think it would have set up them for the flash.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the third attempt from Sejuani on bot. Let's see it.
Been a dead Miru, so luckily enough, able to get away from that. Odi though back on this.
And they saw him on vision. Oh my God, they're spam pinging him.
I mean, Junja's here, and I just don't think your bot lane is strong enough right now.
They've cleared all the vision, but I mean, you've cleared the vision while also revealing that your jungler is here, so very easy with the guns you have available to you with the Infernum and the Gravitum to kind of just keep yourself safe, but also just clear the waves as they're being pushed into you. So not exactly a great opportunity here for R7 to capitalize.
Why'd you write Pedro on my team Sag? I'm not in the game.
Now we are starting to get first items coming in. You do have the Radiant Virtue coming out here for Junja, going towards that more tanky related build. We do sometimes see the Demonic Embrace, but this time around it is the more tankier variant, and the Dustbladed Drakkar. So Maple already in a position to be able to kind of go aggressive. He feels like he can get that kill, get that invulnerability.
Azzy wave control is really nice.
Move away from the fight.
Obviously, he's going to push
now. It does
now,
make
but
it difficult for Miru to try and stay in the lane at the moment, just because that Mythic Spike. The fact now that Maple gets to push waves pretty consistently and then move in towards working with Junja will give them a lot of control over the spot side jungle, and I think that's where you're going to be looking to see kind of the mid to bot plays working between PSG. Junja and Maple want to try and get some extra gold on towards Maple, like get this tower in a position where it's vulnerable with this Rift Herald, so having that support for Woody so he can get out and start to set this play up is going to be important. So keep your eyes on exactly where Junja is leaning towards, because more than likely, like right now, Woody's going to be quickly behind him.
Yeah, these guys are going to be the best of friends as they hang around this this rift, and they're looking for kind of.
I would spam ping Sejuani, but she wouldn't see
it. The Rakan and the Maokai, it's just such an easy 1-2 engage. You know, you drop down the Maokai ultimate.
Oh,
like
Maokai ult.
And you're able to kind of get a lot. Seo should have ult, and gonna use cleanse instead. Interesting. So valuing the ultimate, or the ultimate cooldown higher than the cleanse cooldown.
I'm surprised because I mean, there's no real fight coming up in the next little while. Like, you could have just had your ult up and available for the next dragon.
Can they crash this?
Unless he's massively worried about some sort of like dive play here, but that's not really going to happen. I think using your ult there would have been fine.
I voted for Damwon to win Worlds. Like, you voted for Damwon to win Worlds? Holy fucking base.
You could have just had both up for the next fight.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Unfortunately, that's not how this game has gone. Seo obviously has a. I mean, and look, watch us now. He'll have an amazing ultimate.
I put Weibo.
All the feathers,
if you copied my pick'ems, that means you put Weibo to win Worlds. Oh my God.
But of course, there's the lane economy.
That's why you shouldn't have copied my pick'ems.
By Mastercard, and again, it's pretty good for everyone except for mid lane. And even then, 250, 269 is not really that big of a difference between the Jace and of course the Orianna. So very, very easy to see how PSG are going to find their advantages, especially in that top side with the Rumble just getting so far accelerated.
Yeah, I think for R7, what you have to try and do is like get control over bot side, then find a way to.
I put G2 to win Worlds. Wait, you actually put G2? Oh, this chat.
Seconds on Dragon, but you're not really in a position
this
to
chat
do that right
picks
now.
G2 to farm based emotes to themselves. They like select G2 and they're like, oh, I'm based, and then they click next. Shut up.
It's without the amount of vision that they kind of need to make this happen, it's going to be hard. Woody though is going to be sitting here, so maybe PSG
Woody.
with just being able to slowly
Isn't
push
that a
back
Toy
out,
Story
will
character?
force
Woody?
R7 back.
I don't remember Toy Story.
One more time.
Oh shit, we're back.
Have a look at it. It's changed. Look, Maple's getting closer. It's not even 269. It's 212.
Buzz Lightyear.
But a little bit of an engage here as we start to posture for this dragon. This could be big for R7 as they may look for
Ult hit.
engage. Cleanse has been used. So now neither AD carry has their cleanse, although Seo's one is up and a little bit short over time. We'll see if they want to go for anything there, but a big engage tool no longer available for R7. Again, you're looking at that Glacial Prison to really set up a fight.
Yeah, I mean, you still have lines.
30 seconds on Herald, Drake spawning.
This is the problem.
This dragon's gonna die and it's gonna be Ocean Soul for the boys. Oh, they're bleeding top.
Quicker track towards mid lane, but now you've given that control to PSG because they know, hey, we don't have to actually look out for Audi. It's a much more telegraphed engage that'll come through.
Nice.
Good poke here with the accelerated shock blast. Again, if you don't see it coming in, you're not going to be prepared to put up those shields with the Nautilus and the Orianna. And the way things have kind of gone, you can see R7, they just don't
R7
feel
should set up for Herald,
to make that
but they're all
play. They say,
recalling.
look, we don't have the vision. We'll be
I guess it's
walking
because top
into
push is
so many
insane.
bits of damage.
Yeah, this game
It's just
feels
not worth it.
unwinnable
They could
for
try
R7.
and push mid very, very quickly and lean over towards the Rift Herald with the numbers advantage that they have. But
You picked
with the
R7
resets
to win
coming through,
Worlds?
they're not in a position to
Bro,
do
I don't know
so.
if
So
R7 is even gonna get a
PSG
win
there,
at Worlds.
Dragon
Never mind win
should get
Worlds.
good damage. I think they should get bot terror off this play, but also, I mean, even with
Oh
the position
my
of the
god,
Rift,
Mountain!
Miru not really going to be able
Where's
to
my
hold on,
oceans
just gonna
at?
Try and threaten a potential dive here, and there's just nobody from R7 here to cover.
Oh, Miru could be in a lot of trouble here. Needs to walk forward a little bit, but no, just get hit up. There's going to be a TP straight away. They're tanking the turret straight off it. The shockwave
Well
just
played,
come down,
Maple.
but it's just too easy. Hotel top laners TP in, but I mean, what way can you already make this one work? You're in a 2v3, not really in a position for it. They will drop down the
Whoa,
equalizer,
Rumble
the
was
all
good.
out just to bring Junja underneath the tower.
I swear, every time there's a side lane fight, someone engages mid.
Who has no cleanse, a flash forward because the minion was standing in his way, a flash away by Wako, who finally puts down the ultimate. Moonlight Vigil just pepper down this damage, good infernum damage. But I mean, it's PSG just kind of winning. It's R7 playing reactively, and unfortunately, it's not working.
Yeah, it's just the reset timers from R7 coming back to bite them. They weren't on the map quick enough, so PSG go, right, we take Dragon, we move bot, we know that R7 have gone for reset.
Okay, now we're gonna base, go top side. Yeah, TP top from Maple, good. We're gonna get Herald, and when we get Herald, what are we gonna do? We're gonna end the game in 21 minutes. Rage.
The fact is, PSG have set themselves up with a 3,000 gold lead. They're going to get control over mid. They'll go towards Rift Herald. They'll extend that lead. And this is now where R7 are going to be in a ton of hurt. Odie trying to prevent that, though, by immediately moving top, but he's spotted.
Yeah, no.
Fuck, I wish I could change my fastest game team. I would change it to BLG, I think.
Again, this is why we kind of put PSG as such heavy favorites. This is what they were doing in the PCS, just, you know, kind of calling all the bluffs, constantly putting in questions to the enemy team and saying, look, you're just not going to be able to contest us. You're not going to be able to kind of front.
No, it's fine. It's only game 2. We got loads of time.
In this game,
We got loads of time.
Had that same kind of presence that they did in game number 1.
Yeah, and they're basically doing what PSG want, which is, yes, we get control, but we're also just going to slam Wacko in the lane by himself and let him scale, let him get his items. So as
no,
we kind of
BDS
make
first
plays
Golden Guardians
elsewhere
doesn't
on the
count.
map. So for PSG, this is exactly where their comfort spot
Okay,
is. Maple,
nice
though,
lane game.
maybe not being so comfortable.
Okay, well,
He
Sniffer.
just had a sixth sense about it. Knew something was up, and Audi unfortunately gets spotted out there by the accelerated shock blast. And honestly, Woody was off to the side there, so it could have been a little bit of a bait there with the amount of players that PSG had on that top side.
Guys, we need to speed it up.
Immediately, they're going to try and cover for this on the play, but again, you're not really in a position to try and fight this as R7. You can see how nervous they are, especially with that tower just slowly being chipped away. But if you're committing 4 members to top side, fantastic. Ozzy is still going to be in
Mad Lions in the lobby 3 minutes ago.
Actually, surprised to see him go for the Iceborne Gauntlet, like a full armor build into the AP damage, which is why he's probably struggling as much as he is. But this was great from Junja. Knock back first to use the W to dodge the shockwave, so he never has to worry about that and can try and get out of range. So just nice decision making from Junja on the play. And then Bong here as well, you can see like how much damage is going to come down on him in a second. Like the AP damage is melting him with the build that he's gone. Like usually you'll see the Jack Show coming through in a matchup like this where you still get those tanky stats.
Thoughts on pacifist Sejuani? Yeah, the Sejuani hasn't found anything yet. He's also his champs. I don't know. It's not like he can carry, right? It's great Sejuani.
Also, just not going to help you in the laning matchup that you're in, which is the Rumble and the Maokai. So a little bit unfortunate there, but look, we'll see if it does end up leading to anything more.
This
We do
R7
kind of come
team
up to
stands a
about
chance.
20 minutes now. 13 seconds until the Baron spawns.
Wait, what's the other bracket? It's Loud versus Gam, right?
until the next
Brazil is the next game.
Plenty of value for both these teams, and I will say for R7, if they can get that Dragon stacking, it can be great for something like a Sejuani, a Cassante, and of course a Nautilus. But you got to get there. That's the thing. You can do all these beautiful wishes, but you gotta make them happen. You can't just sit there and hope they do.
I think at this stage though, we're gonna be waiting again for this next dragon to come up. Minute 15 until that. That's where R7 can try and find something, but at least PSG, like, they're in a great spot. They've full control over mid. They've got the poke that they need. They're getting the vision control down. They've got the side lane control thanks to Ozzy as well. It's just making it so hard for R7 to make anything happen.
They're looking to find
it hit!
Catch him, cleanse used immediately. They are backing this one away as well with a little bit of an ultimate from the Maokai. No full engage coming out.
Holy fuck, Aphelios
a chunk of his health bar out. That's not a bad play coming out here from
We're just waiting for dragons.
Burn off that summoner just before the dragon spawns in 45. The Sejuani should be able to take a camp or two to heal up.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're getting something, but again, that big ultimate is down 4-7 as they start to come into the fight, right? And that's kind of what we've consistently seen is, yes, it's nice to get the summoner spell down, but like the rest of the follow-up isn't there.
Whoa,
like,
Jace
you
damage.
kind of want this more for as the fight kicks off, so maybe you can pick Ozzy, maybe you can pick someone else, but picking on towards Wacko every time is like fantastic. We're actually fine because 20 seconds until dragon. Lines is your engage, I suppose, and you kind of hope for the best that he gets on towards someone that can that we can try and follow up on. But when you've got like Junja in the front line, Woody's going to be able to disrupt that engage.
I don't know. This feels like R7 is.
More difficult for
feels like there's only four players. I don't know.
And the thing is,
feels like they're not really doing anything.
Like that, you still have the
they're not cross mapping. They have no side push. They have no mid push.
And go back to kind of heal up before this. TP comes in from Miru to try and cover this push, but all that effort, all that time and investment you put around this dragon pit to kind of get something is not going to be there. And I was just about to say, just before Audi put down a pink ward on it, that is a TP ward for this Rumble if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, immediately. Going to have him in towards the backline. PSG,
oh
though.
God.
Right, like you say, like the amount of poke that they have. Audi going a bit far with Junja, though.
Junja kind of going on a little bit of a longer trip than he anticipated there. Lions throwing out a bit of a wayward hook, but for the moment it seems to be just fine for everybody to kind of just keep posturing around. Bot lane pushing in favor of PSG, top lane pushing in favor of PSG. They're dotting their I's, they're crossing their T's, and it's R7 who are going to start feeling the panic like now. It means they can't contest.
Yeah,
they can't contest anything.
This is kind of just like a walk home now for PSG. Yes, you've got this incredibly strong pick in the Orianna, but even she's had to opt towards a Banshee's Veil, which because of how much damage Ozzy is doing, so which again, I'm not the big. I think you've got to just go for that soul damage here in this kind of position.
Wait, I need to do some math
if you're
real
going to
quick.
play defensive here, I think you're just going to slip further and further behind. So PSG, they got good scaling coming, or well, they got scaling on the Aphelios that's coming through, but I suppose if you can hit like mega late game for R7, you're in an okay spot. But with 2 dragons now until Soul for PSG and Mountain Soul to boot as well, Baron up on the map, your opportunities to find that scaling aren't there.
I've seen this one before on the other side of the map. I know how this movie ends, but this time Miru is also going to go for a shockwave comes in just to delay it, but
okay,
it's
big
the
kill.
Same result every time, and again Bong comes in just to find his laner already dead.
Yeah, call it the
I don't know, man.
The maple tree going absolutely insane on this one.
I don't know.
Finding on the top side, Braz will be proud.
What do you want me to say about this game? R7 are just their mid game is weak. They found nothing in the early game.
Kind of slow, methodical,
they got outlaned.
Telegraph, but also PSG, they know how the
only person who I think knows kind of what they're doing is Mireyu, but his team is never covering him anywhere.
It's becoming almost predictable how R7 are moving.
And it's like everyone on R7 immediately responds to top side, and you're like, cool, we got Maple on the bot lane. So for PSG, as long as they can just lock this one out, which surely they do now, well, cool, now we got a massive
now we're losing mid tower damage, we're losing like
so
both,
like,
doesn't
great,
matter, you know,
now
it's
we got
like
numbers advantage for mid, let's rotate to mid. Sale's like, I will try and clear this out, but in a second I'm going to be completely outnumbered.
now we're running mid and hoping that Aphelios ints, you know, like I feel like they just run around hoping that someone ints.
Poke in a second for Maple is going to be a tough one.
Definitely could feel how much that was going to hurt there for Seo, who's not got any resistances naturally as a AD carry of his team. So looking at a 2.5 item Jace coming out from the side would just be monstrous.
Come on, Nautilus, start dying.
Does get finished up here finally by Miru, but I mean, like you said, it feels like R7 are just running around the map like almost like a 5-man at all times, and then as soon as they kind of realize, okay, we don't need to do that, they get kind of caught out, and then all of a sudden it's predictable. So it does feel like a catch-22 for them. Damned if they do, damned if they don't. And
Sejuani has a 4% damage share.
I mean, at this stage,
really?
hang on, engage.
Yeah, engage comes in. They're going to get the ultimates out, but can they get the damage in?
Someone hit the tower.
The Nautilus goes down. The turret finally goes in.
Nautilus died. Yes.
Good to catch Wacko. But I mean, he just gets himself the Gale Force to get away from this one. And
more kills on Nautilus.
Like,
more.
Nothing comparatively, and it just feels like R7
for
are
the
just clutching at straws.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they can turn towards Baron though. I mean, look, Lions is down, but you're gonna have the resets coming through from R7. unless Maple can get some good damage down, but they do have to be careful as OR7 come back onto the map. Lions being down does suck, but yeah, it looks like they might be able to burn it down.
I mean, what ultimates are really available right now? You've got a lot to try and re-engage onto this. The all-out.
It's we need a Baron Steal here for the pick'ems. Baron Steal. We can't get fastest game. Let's get a Baron Steal. Come on. Baron Steal. Give it to me. Give it to me for the pick'ems. No, PSG is so cringe, bro. Flip it.
Bring down these damage, and they know they can go for bomb because he's going to have to go all out. Junja takes a hell of a lot of damage, but he's able to walk away just at the last seconds. Everyone's just kind of moving in. It's a little bit of a 1v1 on the top side there as Lions joins back in. And now the Rumble's very isolated.
Oh, Rumble's dead.
Not with his team. He may have to try and get out of this by his own, but he doesn't have flash. He has nowhere to go, and he's overheated.
Yo, R7, start Baron, begging. Let's get PSG to steal it.
The first kill of the game. And PSG, they didn't really know what they wanted to go for there. The Baron got too low.
Well, that's what the problem was. It's like, I think you had Audi that was still in a good position to actually get in towards the pit, so I was a bit worried about the 50-50.
Wait, hold up. Yo, Sejuani, they're on Nash.
Audi,
están en el Barón.
Hang on a second.
Hola.
Maybe we can try and sneak this.
Okay,
not as confident though as I start to see the rest of OR7 get into position, but I wasn't sure how much burn damage they had, and I think they overestimated themselves.
We need him to steal it.
Be like, hey, we can try and burst this down before
we need him
get
to steal
in
it.
position, but you can see Bong, like the second he steps up, is in a decent spot. But Junja here, good ult, great setup, and like there's nowhere really for OR7 to run to.
More of this,
try and
more
move
of this.
Back, you're in towards the equalizer. Trying to move forward, you're in towards the rest of the team. And I think that shockwave only hitting onto one person really sucked there.
Is it El Baron or La Baron? Must be L, right?
But it's just not quite there. And Lions getting great setup on the Aussie. He was just that little bit too far forward.
Yeah, Lions literally coming out of base being like, remember me?
El Baron.
Like, oh, yes, that's right. We were 4v5. We didn't actually have all eyes on all 5 members.
Oh,
but still a 5,000 gold lead for PSG.
Oh,
yes, a little bit of a hiccup there with the Rumble being taken out, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. 3 items now for Maple. Sorelda's Grudge finished up, and you're building up towards a 3-item Aphelios as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, you're kind of saying, hey, look, it feels like OR7 are running around the map to try and make plays happen. It feels kind of like the end of a Cooking Mama level, where you're like, everything is on fire. We're just running around trying to manage whatever we can. And yes, the level ticked over, and they've managed to survive, but now it gets more difficult.
Well, that's a Moonlight Vigil that doesn't really go anywhere. They're moving on to Junjin now.
Look for Nautilus, look for Nautilus. Focus, Shockwave hit nothing. As he get the Nautilus, don't flash over that wall, you fucker. No, come back.
They had found someone to kill off, but they end up losing almost everything in that fight, and that could just be the Baron straight up there.
Yeah, it 100% is. Immediately PSG
Odi, el Barón, por favor, robarlo.
There's just nothing you
no,
can do.
He's going to Drake.
Mirror, these ultimates have just not been connecting whatsoever.
No, not at all. And again, like, you're committing everything onto Junja, who we mentioned earlier has gone full tank Maokai. It's not really the priority target. Like, I just feel like it's
fine. When the LPL supports are playing Nautilus, they won't play for KDA. They will flash in.
Some kind of an advantage as the tanks try their very darndest to kill this dragon as quick as they can. But, I mean, trying to deal with a Jace is hard enough with the poke, but now with a Baron, it's going to be insufferable.
Yeah, and I think, look, they were like, hey, look at Rumble bot lane. Let's try and make the pick. Let's 4v5 this. But Junja, terrible spot. Miru not being able to connect with the ultimate there as well.
I picked Rakan for most deaths.
Trying to make this pick happen, but
well, I picked Nautilus.
Just don't have the
so it's time for Nautilus to die.
Banshee's Veil on the Orianna. She's not really turning out the damage that you need to. The Xayah was set behind early, despite a nice start. 0-3, like, where is your actual damage coming from to make these picks happen?
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is that once Seo goes down, there is no other one else. Yes, the Orianna is very strong, but she relies so heavily on her combo. And
Nautilus, look, Maokai ult. Go eat it.
Rinse, repeat. There's no
what is he doing? Go in, Nautilus, go in. Stop standing there.
It'll be up in about a minute's time again.
I picked Caedrel for most fired. Bro, shut up.
All over the place. Like, look, Odie's trying to clear out mid-wave against Maple, whereas you'd kind of want him to be with the team. He's now going to get collapsed on as PSG come over.
Yeah, PSG going to look to maybe burn. Like, that's 1v1. Odie can't set up to this because he's only got a Radiant Virtue. He's pure HP. What's going to happen there?
What is going on?
You don't really try. They're panicking, and it feels bad. But
what is even happening? Actually, wait. Nautilus, kill the Nautilus.
They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at it, but now the knockups into the charm. Sales already lost.
Like, what is R7 doing? This is disgusting.
Burn this one. Finally, a good hook lands, but they've already got the stopwatch from Maple, so he can delay it. This is 4 versus 5. The Rumble is
Nautilus is backline every fight.
4v5.
What is going on?
PSG are burning them down.
Nautilus, get him, get him, get him, get him.
And they're all being taken out.
Yes.
Yes, the shockwave comes in onto one, but it's just too little too late. And this is PSG putting a marker in the play-ins.
4 versus 5. PSG Talon win the fight. And
oh, my doorbell just rang.
Oh, they're
what the hell?
To take down OR7 and deny them that opportunity. at the 2-piece on the international wins.
I mean, PSG were the favourites coming in. Game 1, R7 definitely showed a bit of life. Game 2, they just looked lost, floundering. PSG got themselves warmed up, got themselves back into the series, and really put down the herd. Really well done there from PSG. And they get themselves the expected result, and I expected how they got it as well.
Yeah, I mean, much cleaner game coming into this, right? Being able to play around their team fights, setting up well. I will say, still question marks around the bot lane.
Yes,
I mean, Wacko definitely having a bit of a rough day, but still they're able to pick up the win. And again,
what is this package?
Very good when it came towards those later fights. And I mean, PSG just a significantly better team coming into game number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. They took their training wheels off. They were a little wobbly at the start there and kind of went like, oh, maybe I'm not comfortable with this. But then it was smooth sailing all the way down that hill. And I mean, for R7, it feels bad sometimes, but it's just kind of like that's just how the cookie crumbles. Thankfully for them, they will have that lower bracket, but they definitely have a couple of things.
We got a Worlds jersey for Fnatic.
Yeah, I think the fact that we had it so
thank you,
much,
Fnatic.
Kind of fixing going on.
We can wear it for the Fnatic games.
He was able to get good control over that bot side. You then unlock the Rakan to be able to play around the mid lane and Maple.
Thank you, Fnatic.
And then Maple in this game looked
now I don't have to get a white t-shirt and draw your logo on it.
He was a beast on this Jace.
I mean, it feels like you either got to ban the Maokai or you got to ban the Jace. You got to ban one of the two because they are so comfortable with that composition. And I mean, Maple.
Wait, did Fnatic show their Worlds jersey?
Doing so much damage. Yeah, PSG Maple. We're very.
Did Fnatic show their Worlds jersey?
Back in the LPL, he has continued his lineage within the PCS and honestly keeps pushing forward within the play-ins again, looking towards that Swiss stage.
I mean, he's such a massive player coming into the PSG. So coming into the PCS and then now rejoining PSG Talent. It's so
they didn't, so I didn't want to leak it.
We have our Oppo player of the series. It is the man we were just talking about. It is Maple. I mean, it couldn't have been anybody
Looks
else.
kind of good, no?
With the Pop Blossoms, with the Jace.
If Razork needs to be subbed out.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of situations when they were very disjointed in game number 1. It was Maple
I can just fly me in, bro. Fly me in
to set them up in game number 1. When we got in towards those later fights as well, he was oftentimes getting again like this. I think he flashes in onto the back line of this play.
Fly me in.
He's getting on towards Mirror. Yeah, you see it here again, just causing so.
What do you mean I leaked it? I didn't leak shit.
Or 7 in game number 1, and then as we started to get on towards the Jace, he was an absolute beast. Like picking up so many of these early kills, using his advantages elsewhere, and making sure that he was taking PSG Talent to the victory.
I mean, it just looks so textbook. It really did on this Jace as well. Like they look so comfortable.
They didn't show it yet.
Composed to be able to make the advantages work.
Wait, they didn't tell me that.
To be honest, there wasn't really a lot R7 could do about it. You needed to try and go for something a little less than standard, and unfortunately for them, they fell right into the trap.
Yeah, I think it was just PSG kind of showing, hey, look, we know how to set up better on the map. We know.
Oh, it's on the Fnatic shop. Okay, yeah, we're shitting. It's on the Fnatic shop.
We're able to make these picks happen.
It's on the Fnatic shop.
R7 just weren't ready for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But again, moving in now to keep them. PSG will keep themselves in the winners bracket, and of course we'll see R7 down in the lower bracket after this. But after the break, we will continue with GAM Esports facing off against Loud here in Worlds 2023 play-ins. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.